And welcome back to episode 93 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. We are a podcast by crew for crew. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith. I'm here as always by my co-host here, Big Joey.
Yo,
And we are joined this week by special guest crew, Big Justin.
Why, hello there.
Hello, boys. It is a Thursday. I am thirsty. I'm gonna drop. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna hop right into my drink this week as I picked up a variety pack of hop water. So this week I'm gonna go with a classic. I'm not sure if this one's supposed to just be like taste like water or if it's gonna taste really hoppy. I don't know.
Hop water. I don't know how to feel about that.
Ooh, that's different. It tastes like a pine tree, and it literally says crisp, citrusy, and piney. I like this the least. I do not. I do not like classic hop water. That is an avoid, but it's drinkable. What about you, Justin? You got anything good over there this week?
Well, I'm an absolute basic person, so I have a Mountain Dew Zero Major Melon in my official, unofficial heavy cup.
Ooh, nice.
the Massenomics heavy cup.
Yeah, a Massenomics heavy cup, the one that we're all waiting for.
No, what was that? That was a Mountain Dew Zero Mega
Major
Melon.
Melon.
So it's like a watermelon
Yeah.
essence Mountain Dew Zero.
Well, it kind of tastes like if you melted a Jolly Rancher and kind of just mixed it with a little bit extra water.
Okay.
Nope. Okay, I'm in. That sounds awesome. At first, I was like,
It
no,
is-
that sounds terrible, but like that sounds great.
It is very good. The problem with where I live is it's very hard to find anything that's not regular Diet Dew or Dew Zero. So all the cool flavors don't exist. I got lucky. I was at a work conference and I was like up by Chicago and I found a bunch of it. So I may have spent way too much money on soda.
I love it.
Yeah, that candy watermelon flavor, that's good stuff, right? Like,
Oh, God,
like I love real watermelon, but that candy watermelon, you either love it or you don't. Like my wife hates it; she can't stand it, and I'm just like, then give it to me. Like, give me all of your candy watermelon flavors.
Yeah.
I have a new one, of course, because Morgan has opted to surprise me every week with some fucking healthy stuff. So this is bubbled in Canada, which tells me it's like not Canadian water. That's insane. All right, so this is called Love Bite. Tart, pink grapefruit, and a cheeky hint of ginger with earthy juniper. Now here's the thing. I love juniper. Love juniper as a flavor, as a smell, all of that. So let's see if this sucks. Because last week it sucked.
Yeah, you weren't happy last week.
What is juniper? I don't think I would know it if I smelled it.
It's an evergreen plant. Okay, so it's a shrub. It has blueberries. It is the main ingredient in gin. So it is
Really?
it is the main flavor profile of most gins,
Interesting.
which is why gin is a northern drink, right? Because that's where the junipers grow.
Huh.
Now
The
that's
smell
Big Gin.
the smell is very earthy. It's very it's just like it just is juniper. Like I can smell it right now, not because I'm drinking it, but because it's one of my favorite scent profiles. This is weird. This is very weird. I'm definitely getting everything it says. I'm getting the bite of the ginger, the aftertaste of the juniper, and then like when you breathe out, the ginger is still up my nose. So I'm gonna finish this because this is great. Good work,
Nice.
Morgan. I'm taking these orange glasses off. Fuck that.
Yeah, I've got the lighter ones on this week. I specifically brought them into my car because like I really do like just have that because I'm in a blue room and it's just the computer's blue and it's just like too much fucking blue. So these definitely come in a clutch. But I did want to do a shout out to Morgan for you for always kind of knowing what night you podcast on as a kind of a what's the opposite? What's a word for opposite? I guess
Antonym,
Powder.
bizarro.
Yeah, I guess. Whereas like my wife, I tell her like I preemptively tell her, tomorrow's Thursday, I'm recording tomorrow. Yep, I remember. That afternoon, I'm recording tonight, right? And then like a half hour before the podcast, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get ready for the podcast. She's like, what? I'm like, God damn it! Like, it
What
just makes me feel bad.
podcast?
It makes
When
me
did
feel
you
bad.
start a podcast,
Yeah.
Keith?
It just makes me feel bad because like I know like my voice carries. We're in a 1,000 square foot house. I obviously keep her up. Like maybe she sleeps for a little bit of the 2 hours that we're here, but probably not. So it's like God damn it! It just makes me feel bad. It's like oh yeah, sorry. I hope you didn't want to go to bed until midnight tonight.
See,
It's
I'm
just
all the
fine.
way out. like the way our house is set up is my bedrooms are on one end, the garage is on the other end, and the garage is so dang small I can't even fit my Prius in here and open up both doors. So I just turned it into the gym. So I
Love
can
it.
do I've dropped 600-pound deadlifts out here and she hasn't even noticed it in the computer room halfway across the house. So it's like I feel like I have a safe spot out here.
Yeah,
I
that's a
can
good
hide
call.
for a little bit.
Can't beat that. Well, in the safe spot, you do have some. I mean, it's good that you're in a safe spot because you kind of have a little, illegal shirt on. That's a little
Oh,
contraband. So
oh,
it's
he
good
has a
that
sought after shirt that has been
yeah.
Oh
mentioned on like
yes.
every episode that everybody's like, 'cause we ask
So,
everybody a question. Yeah.
you want to tell the world what you're tell the world what you're wearing tonight?
Well, my overall fit here, I'm starting with one of the pinnacles of the Massenomics shirt collection, the official Yeah Buddy lightweight shirt. So this thing right now, I can't wear it in public. I don't want Ronnie Coleman coming after me.
You can outrun
But
him.
to match it
Wow. I
for
was
you
gonna
guys,
I was gonna
I've
make a
got my
rude
pizza
comment and
pants
use them
on for
too.
you two
All right.
specifically. And
Love
to
it.
go with it, this was a late edition, okay? So for Christmas, I was dressed as Santa for my concert. So I had to get red shoes of some sort, and I have gigantic feet. So what did I happen to find? The last pair of size 15
Oh,
of
nice.
the Ursonomics.
Boy. So you were
And I am babying these things because they were the last ones in size 15, and I had to size down from size 16 just so I could get a pair.
nice.
But these are like my special shoes.
I don't love the high top barefoots. I think that's just a realization I had to come to because I got a pair for Christmas, and that's the only reason I didn't get the Ursonomics. But now that the Crimson Kabuki ones are back out, I'm fucking tempted.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm tempted because those are pretty.
Well, your dislike of them, is it the all of them, or is it just like for me? I have the canvas ones. I wear them to school every once in a while whenever I don't feel like wearing other shoes, and I just don't like the canvas. I like these suede ones in high top. They feel like they're more giving, and I don't like. I sweat a little bit more in them because they're
Mm.
not breathable. I just don't like that canvas feel.
I just don't like putting them on.
Mhm.
I don't like
Oh
trying to
yeah.
stick my like untying them all the way to the bottom and loosening them and like I like the low tops because you're just like you slide your foot in. Maybe you got a shoe spotter, right? Like
Yeah.
or a shoehorn or whatever normies call them.
Yeah, I was a
Uh,
shoe spotter. I'm thinking like, is that like a drink? Was that where you put your shoe in your drink spotter light? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
no, it's a shoe spotter. That's
No, I know what a shoehorn. I get
yeah.
to where they don't, I
So
got you.
yeah, personally, yeah, I didn't get those, but yeah, those Kabuki are nice and pretty. I mentioned on when they announced them, I didn't even tag him, but I was like, I want these, but I want Chris's. I know he's hoarding them. And Duffin actually responded. I didn't even have to tag him. He's like, I have been. I knew this was gonna happen.
That's funny.
The last 2 years at the Arnold, when I've seen Chris Duffin somewhere and I stop to say hi, I'm always like, hey, I'm a teacher. I look kind of goofy wearing moccasins to school, and I
Mhm.
don't really fit in the I can wear boots to school and fit it either. So can you make some middle ground? Can you give me some like Ursas with a sole? Because like if I'm running around on concrete chasing kids, I don't want to rip those soles off, those the thin ones, and I
Mhm.
don't want to wear gigantic boots because I'm a shorts year round guy. I don't want to wear boots and shorts and look like I'm some park ranger or something.
He's working for Jurassic Park up here.
Yeah. Well, they are cargo shorts. The only shorts you should wear besides shorts.
Oh, that's all I wear is cargo shorts. I have cargo shorts and cargo pants, and my cargo shorts are exactly like my cargo pants, are just short version. So I never have to so like my wallet goes in the same pocket, my AirPods go in the same pocket, everything. It's got a home.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm rock.
I wear 5-inch seams, cotton, silkies maybe. I don't know.
But you also have the fanny pack, whereas I'm not wearing a fanny
I
pack.
have
So.
multiple fanny packs. Like I have more fanny packs than most people. I've got like an NXT WWE Championship one that Big Eddie
I
was
love it.
he was the muse for that one. I've got the Tim Biebs one. I've got the Massenomics one. Yeah, so many. They're so handy.
I'm rocking out the Jefferson deadlift shirt tonight and my some orange shades.
Nobody is shocked about the orange shades.
I
We are aware that this is you now.
never actually accepted that we were recording. I should probably go hit OK up here, huh? There
Are you
we go.
kidding me?
No, I hope I didn't fuck anything up. That'll
Oh, I
really.
hope you did. I hope the entire
Uh,
beginning is just me and
oh God,
and
man.
Minnie just pretending to talk to you. Oh, this is the best. I can't
Oh,
wait for that to. Mike doesn't work for 32
uh,
episodes, and then
that'll
he
make me
doesn't.
so mad. That'll suck so bad. Unless I didn't say too much, except the fucking whole intro. But we'll be all
Oh,
right.
that's fantastic. So,
We'll just.
welcome to episode. People are like, "What? Who is they talking to?" That's great. Great.
Oh my god.
I think
All
it'll be all
right.
right.
I'm wearing the this well, it's cold in my house. So I'm wearing the sweater I bought at the Arnold, which was the last time I got to hang out with Justin. Um,
Uh-huh.
and underneath I have the Orca Mob shirt from Big Mike Van Wyck, who we've been trying to get on the podcast, but apparently he just can't get the schedules to work. He's down. Massenomics is down. But I guess Mike is in bed by like 7 o'clock our time, and he just can't like record late at night.
Well,
So
he's gotta take a page out of our buddy big was it Welsh Matt who's actually literally gonna take a day off of work to do some house directly. I think he's taking a week off of work, but he strategically did it on a week that we can record with him a Thursday night, so he can. Because it's like I don't know the time difference. We're not big math on that whole figuring that out, but I know it's like way not where he could do it during a regular business day. So he literally is taking a day off essentially to be on our podcast. That's what I'm gonna tell people.
God, yeah. If he's Welsh, that'd be like, yeah, it'd be like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. God, is that a real time? Does that exist?
I haven't
It
seen it since
must.
I was in my 20s. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll see it when I get up for work. Sometimes that's about it. I don't see it. I see it the day of, not the night before.
So today was the big drop. The big
It
drop.
was
Yeah.
all kinds of new stuff came out today. I know Joey had an order number. So what'd you pick up?
The socks, right? Because
Nice.
I like my black and red socks, but some black and gray socks, those are going out socks, right? Like those are fancy socks. Picked up the powerlifter record holder shirt that I didn't get the first time around. Now the thing about being Canadian is I did not pick up the chicken bake shirt because nobody up here would understand it. There's like
No, yeah, I don't see that.
we don't have chicken bakes here in Canada, so nobody would understand that, and it would be a waste of my money. And I'm always willing to like spend money on a joke that is funny to me, but I feel like that wouldn't be funny enough to me,
Hmm.
having to constantly explain what a chicken bake is. There was the hat or the beanie or the toque, we call them up here.
Toboggan, as I call them, and I just throw people off when I say that because that's like people,
Because
I
they're
guess,
real.
consider that a sled, and I've always
It
considered
is
a
a
toboggan
sled.
a hat. I get it, but I've never known it was a sled. It was a hat to me. It was a beanie until I moved to New York, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about a toboggan?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's what I called it my entire life." So it is what it is.
And the last one was the powerlifter record holder, the flag.
Flag, yeah, the flag.
Yeah,
Uh,
still no pursuit of strength flag. No. Big Joey can go F himself.
so I guess I didn't because I thought you had a typo when you had said you bought the shirt. And I was like, do you mean the flag? So they released the flag and then they re-released the shirt? Is that what
Yeah, they
happened?
restocked the shirt.
Okay.
And I just
Yeah,
didn't
so
get it
yeah,
the
it's
first time it
restocked.
was around.
Gotcha. I didn't register they restocked it, so that's good. That's cool to know.
No, I don't have any more room for like random flags. Right. I actually had to take one down because we moved all the plants from outside into the basement. So if I'm going to get one, it's got to be one I desperately really want. And that is the pursuit of strength one.
Yeah, I think going forward, I'm pretty much a banner only guy. I actually have to probably DM Tanner if there's any specific ones I want made into banners, if we can like figure that out specifically, because I don't know, like every time I put a flag, just don't stick to my wall very well. And then anytime I'm like have a fan on them down here, they like the flags come off the wall easier and quicker than a banner does, like a vinyl banner. So I'm probably not gonna be picking up any flags anytime soon, compared to what I already have. But yeah, I didn't partake in this drop yet. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get the chicken bake shirt. It's so niche. Like I'm already so niche that like do I it's like same. Like even though we have chicken bakes, like I'm gonna have to explain that shirt and I have to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people about my shirt. Like I don't know. It's funny. It really is. I get it. I don't know. I think it'll do well. I don't know that I'm a buyer, but we'll once everyone starts getting their feedback, once they get it, and we can figure out what size blank it's on, which one that they chose out of all the millions of options of blanks that they get presented with from the distributor, then I might be able to make a decision.
It's the same blank.
We love you, Tanner.
Now, like I was looking at that, I'm in an unfortunate position when it comes to buying clothes from anywhere, being that I am a very large person, like large enough that 2 years ago I took a picture with Dan Bell, and then I went back and I looked at that picture and I realized I'm like 3 inches taller than Dan Bell, and I looked significantly fatter than him, and I was like, well, so I usually don't fit in the socks anywhere because I have size 15, size 16 feet. Hats are tough too because I got a big old fat head. Like whenever I needed a motorcycle helmet, I had to like go through 4 different companies to find a company that can make one for me back in the day. So I was like, no, I guess no. I don't know if I have to try the hat on. I'll have to try the hat on first before I love hats. I have a collection of hats, and I just gotta wait to try it on, I guess. The chicken bake shirt, though, this is a big rub for me. Okay, guys. As much as I hear that Red Robin does not exist, I have never once seen a Costco, and I live in the Midwest. So I'm not sure they exist. I've seen more Red Robins than I have seen Costco's. I've never been in a Red Robin, but I've also never been in a Costco. So
Well,
at the same time,
I can assure you Costco exists.
Okay.
but I mean,
I
Canadian
can
Costco
Red.
proof.
Yeah,
Is that
okay.
the same?
Yeah, yeah, I might be there a lot.
Now we around here we got Sam's Club. We give all of our money to another faceless organization.
They're the same organization.
Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But they still have the giant hot dogs, and I love the hot dogs. So I've never seen a Costco chicken bake in person. As far as I know, it's all just AI generated images.
a.k.a. Taylor Swift. That blew up. I think the biggest thing I took away from that was that you've been past Red Robins and never chose to go in, and you're bigger than Dan Bell. How's that happened? Have you never had Red Robin? Red Robin's decent.
I have been by it, but I'm the kind of person that I will spend good money on good food.
Yeah.
But if I go past a place that advertises as we sell burgers, and I'm like, yeah, and so does McDonald's, and I can get like 6 McDoubles for the price of your burger, and I'm like, yep,
that's fair. I don't know.
I've never been the kind of person that would want to go to like a Ruth's Chris and spend $180 on a steak when I can go to Texas Roadhouse and get a reasonable steak that's not great, but it's not awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the couple times I've had like $80, $100 steaks, I'm like, this sucks. Like this isn't good. Like I don't know. So I definitely relate to that. But yeah, no, Red Robin is, I don't know, like you have to go out with family and stuff. So it's like I don't do I go to Red Robin by myself? No. Do I with my wife and I go to Red Robin maybe once a year. Like if her parents want to go out to eat with us and there's one kind of like right in between where we live and where they live, it's like one of like the 3 restaurants that we pick to go to because like everyone can find something they want there kind of and no one like gets pissy.
Yeah. But where our Red Robin is nearby where I grew up was right next to a Five Guys. When I first went down there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, Five Guys or Red Robin?
Okay.
And that's when I decided I hate, that's going to be another controversial thing. I hate Five Guys.
Ooh.
I went in there, I got 2 double cheeseburgers and fries, and this was like 2007.
That's a lot of food.
And it was like $26 back then. And I went, is this better than any other place I've been to? No. Is it way greasier? Yeah. Pretty much. Because I mean, I walked out to my car to eat in the car because it was full inside. By the time I got to the car, my fries were already cold, and I was so sad because I had been hyped up on those fries for years, and I just never went back. It was like that with like you get crossed once, and you're like, nope, never doing it again.
All right, I take everything. Well, okay, so I was trying to convince you to try Red Robin. At this point, I'd rather convince you to try Five Guys again, as in like as a more of an adult that actually like go when they're not so busy and you can sit there. Like I don't know, like. I haven't experienced Five Guys until like maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and I was like, ooh, this has been all my life. Like, yeah, but it's basically like it's better fast food. It's like cost 20% more, but it's just less. I don't know, less shitty clientele. I guess I don't know.
We've got one up here called Burger Priest. They're out of
That sounds
Toronto.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're out of Toronto and they spread out around, and then they're pretty damn delicious. I think it's like our version of Five Guys. There's a couple Five Guys up here, but I've never been because when I want a hamburger, I'm going to like not a fast food place, like I'm going to a burger place. So can't really say that. Burger Priest has a really funny one where somebody left a negative review about not getting enough napkins. So the owner of Burger Priest did the Allen Iverson. What are we talking about? Napkins?
Mm.
We're not talking about the burger or the fries. We're talking about napkins. He did the entire. Was that Allen Iverson?
Yeah. No. Well. Yes, it was him. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that did the practice.
yeah. I was thinking of Jim Moore because Jim Moore did playoffs. But yeah, Allen Iverson did practice.
Yeah, so he did the entire practice speech, but napkins in response to this person's review.
That's
And then
funny.
I was like, "You're getting money at some point from me." That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
All right. Well, my segue is a little bit late now, but speaking of Five Guys, let's go ahead and rate last week's episode since it was two hosts and three guests. So five.
That's really good.
It was. It would have been so much better if like the most recent thing we said was Five Guys. So I had to kind
No,
of
no. Either way,
like.
that was a really good segue and joke. I'm glad you
It
finally hit
was.
record. I'm glad you joined us.
Bastard. Oh, yeah. Do you smell like popcorn over there, Joey? I think it's something for you to smell. So last week's episode, it was the two crew and the crew adjacent gentlemen that had partaken in the week of chicken bake challenge. Like I can't believe they got not one but three people to do that. Like I couldn't do that to my body. It would hurt so bad. Like I couldn't take a like I think who was it? Who was it? It wasn't Grayson. No, it was the guy that what was the non-crew's name? I can't remember that guy's name, but he was the one that just kept talking about how like not having like simple sugars and like fruit and stuff. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, like I like the lack of like I could definitely eat the same thing. Like I literally fucking cold chicken every day, as everyone always knows and jokes about. But like I gotta have something different for breakfast. And I gotta have something different for dinner. Like I can't eat the same thing three times a day for 7 days. I would have had an issue. I would have taken time of work off because I would have been like super on edge. Like I would have told customers to go fuck themselves or something because I would have been like so like a sugar deprived.
Okay, so what's your
But
rating?
yeah, so all in all, yeah, obviously I can kind of basically the we can kind of combine it because the YouTube video was essentially just like clips of the podcast. So that was basically this will be a combo of both of those hitting on them. So since I really don't love chicken bakes as much as everybody else, I think I might have to. Oh, what am I going to give it this week? I think I'll still give it the five Massenomics Jam iPod touches, but only because there was some crew involved in the episode. What about you, Minnie?
Well, since I don't know if the chicken bakes are real, that's a tough start. But some like being willing to put your body at the whim of a something that gets served wrapped in foil from a mass grocery store, you got to give them some props though. It's like being the first monkey in space, except there's three of them, and they all made it back. None of them burned up, so that's good. And normally, the way I would rate Massenomics podcast is entirely based on how many people are on the podcast. So with Tommy Tanner and a guest, it's only a 3. But I'd say this week, because there were 3 guests, that has to make it a 5. Has to be a
Nice.
5.
Love it. Love it. That's a good rating. We'll get big Kevin to add that score to the spreadsheet this week.
I did not get through the YouTube video because I was trying desperately to nap before recording today because, as we all know, I am tired of shit. But I did get to listen to last week's episode. I really want to give them big ups, right? Like big ups to Massenomics for doing what we did over the past 5 episodes in one episode by talking about 3 people's poops compared to us talking about one person's poop per episode. So just from general, how many poops did you talk about per episode? They beat us.
Yeah.
They beat us. So that's gonna get them 5 Massenomics iPod touches.
It's a good one. That's I did enjoy like I didn't catch the video because usually I'll listen live on Sunday or I'll listen to it as soon as it drops Sunday just like when I'm just playing video games or something but I wasn't able to this week so I didn't actually see what they were wearing on the episode until like today's YouTube and like oh they were both wearing brown shirts I just gotta so I gotta chuckle at them both wearing brown shirts and then talking about shit for 2 hours so I got a kick out of that.
Yeah. Also, when they were talking about the new YouTube videos, potentially including crew.
Oh yeah, I'm
And I
excited
was
about
like,
that.
oh, stealing our stuff again. I was totally kidding, but I think you could kind of hear Tanner get frustrated that
Yeah,
he couldn't tell us more because
yeah.
he like as soon as I said it, like I could kind of see him go, like Joey was like, I want to defend against that, but if I do, I'll tell you everything. Like I thought that was really funny. I was kidding. I don't. It's what we're here for, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we are crew. We are unpaid interns. We give them content. That's fine. But I thought that was really funny just to see him do like. I wish I could tell you more to defend myself. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I felt that they played that really close to the chest. They didn't make any, they didn't tell us shit when we did the live recording.
Yeah.
There was like nothing. They didn't. Well, they gave us the socks. No,
Mm,
was it the socks? Did it?
yeah.
Oh, they gave us the socks and the beanie, but then they like really built the other two up to be like, huge things. I was like, I mean, they were still pretty cool, but I was just like, oh, I don't know. I was all in all, I really enjoyed it. But they usually they do tease us a little bit more, and like have it like blurred in the background kind of or something. But they didn't. I don't know. They're playing their hand closer to their chest this year.
I made that joke in the Discord during the recording when I was like,
Uh,
Tanner's like, oh, we're gonna reveal the drop, and then revealed nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
But I mean, what
yeah.
what if you go back like 4 or 5 podcasts and they've just been sneaking in like little tiny snippets here and there, like half a word. You got to put it all together like it's some conspiracy theory.
It's possible. I don't have another 12 hours to go back and listen to last month's episodes currently, but maybe someone does. We had some mole. We had the two moles unveiled this week. So it was Big Jeff and then Big I was just talking to him a second ago. What the heck is this? One of the Lukes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the Lukes. Which I don't think I've had much conversation with him prior. Well, even like I was like I know that guy, but I can't like I don't know. He wasn't as familiar as I thought. I guess I was like, oh, okay, that guy. Yes, I
Yeah.
know that guy. But I didn't. Did we get context on that? I mean, other than well, like yeah, Jeff is clearly like he talked about chicken bakes on our. But I honestly think that like did Jeff and our podcast kick off chicken bakes like the whole
No,
thing?
he did it in Discord first.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, I want to say he did it in the Discord first, and then it was onto our podcast, and then
gotcha.
kind of blew up from there.
But yeah, so Jeff got an early shirt. I'm not sure. I don't think we got the story what hand Luke played, what Cool Hand Luke was doing to get that shirt preemptively, but maybe we'll get him on as a future guest and hear all about that.
Yeah, big shout out to the real mole though, is Big Eddie.
Yes. Did you see the story I posted today?
Yeah, yeah. Is this the real mole?
Yeah. It's just like I still think like so many people like probably have no clue what Eddie looks like his actual face. So then it's just like I bet half the people that saw that image are like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Is
it
that
half that
is
makes
that
it more funny.
Elvis?
Yeah. That even makes it funnier. So did you watch the Royal Rumble this week? Well,
What do you
last week, I
mean?
guess.
What do you mean? I had the live
I
thread
know.
going.
Well,
Like,
duh. What is it?
yeah.
So, okay. So Joey, you watched the Royal Rumble this week. There,
Mm.
are you happy with how I phrased that?
Yeah, like duh. I opened the thread and it was live chatting the entire time. Like, of course
Yeah,
I watched it.
I watched a good bit of it. I haven't because was that like so how long has Peacock been doing the pay-per-views for free? Is that like a very new thing?
I didn't know they were doing it for free, so you
Oh
must
yeah,
have
that's
got
right. Because
lucky.
you're on Canada stuff,
Yeah.
so I don't think that's completely so I was able to watch. I don't know if it's a newish thing or if it was the first one, but I haven't seen I don't think I've ever seen a pay-per-view WWE event ever in my life. So except I think when I was a kid, I think pay-per-view used to be like channel 99 or 98 or something, and you could like
Mm.
watch it blurry if you had your TV tuned right. And then so I think I might have listened when I was like super into wrestling as like a 10-year-old. I would put it on that channel and just like have it on in the background and listen to the matches, but I couldn't really watch them because they were so blurry. Yeah, I watched the whole females rumble, and I think I ended up I watched the two matches in the middle, and I ended up falling asleep
Yeah.
during the males Royal Rumble. I actually didn't. I don't think I knew who won until a couple days later when I went back and watched it like on fast forward, and was like, okay,
No, Royal Rumble is the best event of the year for WWE in my opinion because that's when the most surprises happen. Then this year the women's Royal Rumble was far superior to the men's. We had
okay,
Naomi returning, we had Jordan Grace from the TNA champion showing up, Jade Cargill showing up. Jade Cargill is the epitome of muscle mommy. If anybody ever wants to look that up, the pure crush on Jade Cargill for sure. So like I think that was definitely a better, except for the winner. I don't think we really needed a main eventer to win again. I think we really need to start giving the Royal Rumble back to some of the mid carders and the new entrants. Um, Logan Paul is a fantastic wrestler. Why I love watching him wrestle. It is ridiculous how good he is at this, considering he's an outsider. Roddy Piper would hate me for saying it, but he is really good at this.
Is it because he's a
Um,
pure athlete? Because like he really is like a year, and like a year or two into it.
yeah, but I mean, sometimes like you can be an athlete all you want. You can jump off the rope, jump through the ropes, or land a clothesline. But if you can't tell a story during a match, you're useless.
Makes sense.
And he's so good at the facial expressions and his first match. He did I think it was versus Rey Mysterio, and he did a suplex, basic move. And rather than let Rey go, he paused. And then when he paused, it was so obvious he was about to do Eddie Guerrero's move in that little tiny pause. And the crowd blew up before he even moved. And that is how good Logan Paul is at that. Like he just has that little thing in him that he can just, you're watching him and he's like, how do you know to do that? Like this is stuff that people have been doing this for years don't know how to do. So yeah, he's just he's a great watch. The three-way match was stupid. Don't care. And the men's Royal Rumble, yeah, Cody won. Great. Nobody saw that coming. Like we all saw that coming.
I think the Rumbles are hard. They're harder to like make look real, if you will, because like there's a script and you have to go over the top rope. But like
Mhm.
if your body isn't in the right position versus like, slamming someone down and pinning them is pretty cut and dry in
Yeah.
comparison to like trying to get someone over a rope and require, you're relying on a little bit of luck on like how your body kind of tumbles when you're in, when you're going over a rope or something. So some of those were just like you can tell they're just like waiting to kind of just like roll off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's definitely some terrible bails. I think Goldust, despite being one of my favorite wrestlers, has the most infamous terrible bail where somebody like clotheslined him from halfway across the ring and then he just ran and jumped over the side. Like it was terrible.
that's funny.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. It's hard to do that kind of stuff. But so you're pretty much relying on the script and the winners and who sees who at the time. So
And I don't want to beat a dead horse talking about the Vince McMahon stuff, but I'm basically only gonna bring it up because like I heard about him talk about it on the Let's Get Stupid, and Huck literally like was reading verbatim some of the text, and it was
Good
the most
lord.
literally some of the most like I'm a very vulgar person, and this shit was making me like go wow, I don't want to hear this, like I
yeah.
literally don't want to hear this. So I don't want to actually necessarily talk about it. It was just more of a harkening back to the just Huck Finn in general, because he was on their he was on their episode a couple weeks ago, and it's just like
Wait, they
wow,
had Vince
that's
McMahon on there?
no. Huck was reading some of the text correspondence, like just the
Oh,
sexual.
I didn't even look at that shit. No, no,
Oh
no.
no,
No, no.
they're
Oh
Blech,
my
like
god.
BBC
blech.
this and third input that, and I was just like, oh wow.
It's
Nah.
some of that stuff that you only read about when you were like little on the internet for the first time, and people go, "Hey, check out this link," and you're like, "What is this? Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's like some Faces of Death shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was out first time out, and like he's a known piece of shit. There's and I don't want to, I'm not going to tarnish anybody. It's not my intention here, but they do this thing where they go and they entertain the troops across over in Afghan and Iraq and stuff like that. Well, they did that one year, and one of the female wrestlers was gang raped.
Jeez.
And essentially Vince hushed it because he didn't want to ruin their relationship with the military. Because of course it was troops that did it to her, right? So she ended up killing herself. She's gone now. And it's like nobody believes Vince McMahon is a good person. Sorry. Nobody believes that. So the first time the allegations came out and he stepped down, he should have stayed gone. Then he came back because I'm Vince McMahon. I own this company. I do whatever the fuck I want. But this time, Slim Jim threatened to leave. And they threatened to, this is the rumor. Slim Jim threatened to pull. You know what? It's him or us now. And that was finally the thing that was like ousted from the board, right? Like when all the sponsors opted to pull out at that rate. So, true, he did what he did for wrestling, but let's never fool ourselves that he was a good person.
One thing I found weird, like I said, that was the first time I'd watched wrestling in years. Like the I don't know if I just missed it, but there I didn't see in a single like WWE logo on anything. It was all sponsorship.
Yeah.
Like the whole ring, like every the side skirts of everything. Like there was no the last, I think it was like early 2000s, probably literally the last time I watched anything. And it was just like WWE raw in your face, just like let's put our logo on everything. I was like, oh, that's not what they do anymore. So
Yeah. Yep.
so anyway, we have this game we like to play.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah,
No, no.
we talk about wrestling quite a bit, and I don't
Yeah.
know if people knew that kind of stuff, but
No,
like,
the story about that young woman is very heartbreaking and very
I never heard
disheartening,
that
and the
before.
fucking about the human race, basically.
yeah, he's not a good person, man. That's why we love Massenomics, because I should never go down here.
Absolutely. Well, do you want to, Big Justin?
Speaking
I
of,
know we're kind of
that's a
leaving you hanging
segue.
there, but yeah, let's. You want to cheer us up with something a little
Whew.
less sad? Hit us a little Massenomics sponsor read, please.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, as a Midwestern man, I can tell you there are two things that makes a Midwestern man. Number one, you're probably going to be bald. And number two, you're probably going to have a beard.
Damn it.
And if you're going to be bald, this wind that comes across the Midwest can be biting on top of this cold head. So, I would like to introduce you to your savior, the Massenomics hats.
Mhm.
Now, the Massenomics hats, they come in many various colors, such as real tree camo and camo but not real tree. At least that's what my collection is. With such colors as blaze orange and white logos. But boy, do they keep the cold wind off your head whenever you're walking through Columbus, Ohio at the Arnold. They keep the cold wind off my head whenever the breeze is blowing through our flat as a pancake state of Illinois. And also, I mean, the women, they just look at you. They look at you different when you got a real tree hat on in the Midwest. So I highly recommend you go out and buy a hat today because it's like a shoe before your head.
Nice. Well done. Well, I think we're gonna kick all these looky lures off and see if we can't get our guest Big Justin on the horn. Is that you, buddy? Justin, are you there?
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. How are you doing? It's good to see you, man. I haven't seen you since the Arnold in 2023. It's been
Gosh,
damn near,
yeah,
well, what are we talking about? 11 and a half months.
yeah, almost 11 months on the dot, isn't
Yeah,
it?
11 months, yeah.
Yeah, gosh, doing well here. How you doing way out there in the East Coast?
We're good, man. I'm glad you dropped where you're from, because I was like, I don't know where he lives. Like I could probably tell you where like 80%, well, at least I could probably tell you where like the majority of crew I've talked to live. I couldn't finger where you're from. So, whereabouts in Chicago, or well, in Illinois, like I guess in reference to Chicago is probably the only place I know.
You just did it. You did the thing. Everybody does it forever.
Oh yeah.
You can always tell where someone's from. If they're not from the Midwest and you say you're from Illinois, they go, "Oh, you're from Chicago."
I was
I
actually
am
I was actually more impressed with Illinois.
Hmm.
I was just like, that's not how you say that. You said
Oh,
Illinois.
nice.
I'd say, and just to mess with people, I'd say Illinois. But
yeah,
you're Canadian,
yeah. I
and
mean,
that's
as a person whose family is French heritage, I avoid it.
Mm.
My last name is very French, and then they go, "Hey, this is America. We're going to put every damn syllable in this word."
Mhm.
So that's how I do my French around here. I was just teaching kids how to read French from Claude Debussy today, and I was like, "Here's how you read it in horrible Midwestern translation." But yeah, I am. If you're in Illinois, so Illinois is a long state with a pointy bottom. I am down towards the bottom, and I'm kind of in this geographical anomaly where I am about an hour and a half from Paducah, Kentucky, an hour and a half from Evansville, Indiana, an hour and a half from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and an hour and a half from St. Louis. So I'm an hour and a half from anything that's useful, and the rest of it's all like towns of 20,000 or fewer. So not a lot, but close enough to be somewhere, but also far enough that it's annoying to get there.
Makes sense. Before we get into anything else here, I'm going to follow up real quick. So you said you're an hour and a half from somewhere in Indiana. Where are you in relation to French Lick?
Oh, I think French Lick is about 3 hour drive.
Okay.
So I was looking at it the other day, eyeballing the drive.
If it's only
Last
3
year,
hours,
I
you better
almost
be.
drove up there.
Come on, man. For a home gym con, code unpaid, save you a little bit on your ticket. come hang out with me, big Joey, not big American Joey.
Other
One of
big,
the
other big
one of the
Joey.
Mats, big Kurt Locker.
I'm
Uh,
thinking about getting out there this year. But it's just last year was hard for me
at
because
least come
right
up
about
for
the
one day,
time,
man. I think they're doing a full Friday and a full Saturday this year, whereas last year was
yeah,
like a Saturday and like half a Sunday, and it was kind of a shit show. So a full Friday or a full Saturday, come out, have some fun, man. 3 hours. I implore you. I mean, it is a blast.
yeah.
It really, really is a blast, and I think it's worth it. I think I recommend it. But you do you, brother. But 3 hours away, I'd kill to be 3 hours away from shit that I'm spending $1,000 to fly to.
Well, last year was a little tough because I wanted to come, but by the time I realized when it was happening and I actually paid attention to when it was happening, it was like a week out. And so
Mm,
my fiance's schedule is a week ahead. So she was already scheduled. So I would have had I was sitting there going, man, she has a car, I have a car, I could just drive out on Saturday. But then I said, by the time I get there, it'll be about noonish because knowing me, I don't leave before 9 most of the time.
mhm.
And then by the time I left to get back, it'd be like 9 o'clock. So I said, maybe we'll look at next year. And also last year was tough too because about that time of year, I was getting ready for my spring concert and I had just put in my uh, notice that I was leaving my old job to move to a new job. So I was like in the middle of packing everything up and it
Mhm.
didn't dawn on me until too late. This year, I've already had fiance look at it and say, hey, can you give me the night off Friday and all day Saturday and we'll try to get a hotel room somewhere probably like
That would
Jasper or something.
that would be awesome, man. If you make it out, I'd love to have a beer with you and you shoot the shit. And I think
Yeah,
if there's definitely like this is the year to go. Last year there was only like 10 vendors. This year there's like 40.
I saw.
There's easily going to be a few hundred people there versus like there was maybe a couple hundred people total last year, including vendors. So this year is going to be legit like 10. It's going to be exponentially better and larger than it was last year, as Tanner would put it, exponentially. But okay, enough sidetracking here. First question: what brought you to Massenomics? I want to hear your Massenomics origin story. You know why you're here, who brought you in, first episode, all that good stuff.
So weirdly enough, I had so I'm like 38 right now. When I started lifting, I was 32. I only started lifting because I graduated college, got out to get a job being a band teacher, and I realized I could not keep up with the marching band kids while we're marching. And so I said, if I can't tell them I can do it, I'm not going to make them do it. So I
Mhm.
had to go lose some weight. I went on keto like every person who goes on the internet and try to figure out what the best way to lose weight is. Lost 100 pounds. And then I was like, man, I feel awful all the time. I'm just going to slowly add some carbs back and start. I heard about this thing where you can lift heavy and kind of eat a little more, whatever you want. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do some 5x5 and 5-3-1 and all that stuff and got into powerlifting. And it was about a year later after I got into powerlifting, I gained all that weight back, gained back up to 400 pounds again. But this time it was like less bulging out of every shirt you're in. And then I was talking with a friend of mine, now a friend of mine, back then just barely an acquaintance, Ben Rice. If you guys know who Ben Rice is an old school powerlifter. He's been lifting for 20 years since he was like 10. He he's a younger guy though. He's only like 30 now, 33. And a couple years ago, you might have heard of him because in 2019 he went to the Arnold and he beat Ray Williams in the powerlifting competition by whatever points they were using back then. And that was the year he did the 1,080 squat. So
Mhm.
I was talking with Ben about going to see him at the Arnold, and because Ben streams, Ben's a Twitch streamer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to this thing called the Arnold." I go, "What the heck is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's like a big convention for weightlifting." I was like, "Oh shit." I don't know what this stuff is. I don't know anybody in lifting except for him. I'm going to go see this. So Rachel and I drive out there. We start walking around. And this year, whenever you walk in the arena, way off on the right hand side, over by like where last year they had the Highland Games stuff, there was a little corner. And in that corner, I walk around the corner and I see a little person headbutting a rather red bald man with sleeve cut off shirt that says, something about okay bye on it. See him getting headbutted in the groin by a little person. And I go, interesting. And I walk down that aisle. And who do I see but two large gentlemen standing by a little booth with signs that says Massenomics. And to this day, Tanner still remembers what I was wearing the day I first saw them, because I was wearing an A7 Brandon Campbell hoodie. He will
Oh,
still
nice.
remember that. Way better memory than I could have. And I was looking at their shirts and I was like, oh man, these are kind of good. I want to get one. And I got the oh god, which one was it? I was trying to find it earlier, and it's one of the ones that's gone now. It was
That's like 50
the
shirts.
Huge Life,
Okay, yeah.
the
Mm.
Huge Life shirt, and it was a 4XL. And that's the first thing. The first thing they said to me when I got it, they said, "We love selling 4XLs to people. You're the biggest billboards we got." And so we were walking around with the big 4X shirt on the next day, and walk down the hall, and the guy's like, "Hey!" across the hall. I mean, that was the first time I ever met him. And I'm like,
That's
you know what?
awesome.
I'm gonna go figure out. I'm an idiot. Like I on a computer all the time, never figured out how to use social media. So I got on Instagram and I was like, oh, this Massenomics. I always see these memes pop up. So I followed them there and I met them first, followed them on Instagram next. Then went, oh, they have a podcast. And started listening to the podcast in like 2019. So that was where it all started. Then we were set to come to the Arnold in 2020. And the day we were set to leave, I was walking out the door and I saw a notice that the governor said they were going to arrest anybody that went into the Arnold. And I went, oh, guess we're not going to the Arnold. And it wasn't until a little bit after that I signed up on the like when it was probably right before 22, right before the Arnold. I signed up on I realized they had the Discord, and I went, oh, I should get a membership. And that's whenever they posted up, hey, anyone willing to help out the booth, come out and help. Came out and helped, and been going back ever since. Can't get rid of me now unless they boot me out.
That might be the most organic, like, Massonomic story I've ever heard. Like the most literally just met two dudes and like bought their shit and then like started following them a little later. Like, I love that. That's a great story. Now when you started listening to the podcast, did you just start writing them right where the new episode was and just kind of stay up to date, or did you do any back catalog deep diving or anything?
Well, at the time, I mentioned that I was always on computers. I'm a really bad addictive gamer when it comes to stuff. So at the time, I was playing a game called Elite Dangerous, where it's kind of like, you ever see those games where people drive semi trucks around? Imagine that, but in space.
Mm.
Like the whole day, you would be on there just like driving to a station, going on a website, figuring out what is selling best, pick it up, drive somewhere else. And it might be an hour to drive there in a spaceship. So I just throw podcasts on. So I would start going backwards from where I was and caught up a little bit. I didn't get all the way back to the beginning, but I probably got to about like the 80s or so. And then ended up falling off the podcast wagon again for a bit. Then I was like, oh, God, I got like 20 to catch up on. That's like a couple days worth of just sitting at a computer. So I'm catching back up. And I'd fallen off again. And then just like a wave, you're always going back and forth.
It is I do feel it's kind of nice to binge them though. Like if you do have like a 4 hour window or a 6 hour window and you can listen to episodes back to back to back like that like harkens back to when I did go through the backlog. It's just kind of like if I'm like painting or something, like I can literally listen to like 6 episodes in a fucking day. Whereas
Yeah.
just the one episode, just two hours every 7 days is kind of sometimes not enough. So
I can't do that at all. Sometimes I will listen to half an episode before I have to like stop and put on music or something. But that's just me. I listen to people talk for a living. So sometimes people talking to me on purpose gets to be too much.
granted, that all happened for me during like the middle. It's like that was like a month. I basically found Massenomics a month into being furloughed from work that should end up
Oh,
lasting like 8 months. So to me, it was kind of perfect. Like I just basically like found friends
yeah.
they're friends for your ears. But all right. So just Justin, you want to go and introduce yourself to everybody? I know I've called you Minnie a couple times, and just where people going to find you on Instagram or Discord or wherever you want they find it, and your name and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm Justin. I go by Minnie. Um, if you look for me on Instagram, it's at Mini Action Jesus. Where I am most well known, surprisingly, is twitch.tv// miniature action Jesus. I stream 99% weightlifting, although I've been injured for a few months, so I haven't even been in the gym at all. And I would stream gaming every once in a while, but I usually stream games that people don't care about. Like I literally play Euro Truck Sim, or lately it's been a huge binge of World of Warships. And whenever I stream lifting, I've been really really lucky in the last few years that there's a dedicated group of lifters on Twitch. There's tons of lifters on Twitch, and I tell everybody, if you like lifting at all, there are calisthenics lifters, there are bodybuilders, there are power lifters, there are strongmen, there are crossfitters, there are people doing kettlebell stuff, everything you can find on Twitch. There is somebody there who can answer questions, who's willing to talk, who's looking for someone to talk. I am a guy sitting in a one-car garage right now. Most of my interaction with other people is me sitting in a one-car garage having a one-sided voice conversation with people typing to me. And this is like the most interaction I have in a gym ever, because I don't go to public gyms. I have this gym and I look around and I go, I've got $6,000 in bars. Do I need to go to a Gold's? No. But yeah, Twitch, it's great. What I got really lucky with a couple years ago, and my friend Pete over at SBD, he last year at the Arnold, it was the first time I've really felt embarrassed in a long time. I'm a kindergarten teacher, so we don't feel embarrassed too much. But when I walked up and I'm talking with Pete, who is one of the big shot American guys at SBD, and he introduces me. I cannot remember their names for the life of me, to two international high level, like lower weight class powerlifters. And he's like, yeah, this guy right here, he did worlds this year and he got second in worlds. And this guy right here, he has the world record squat for his weight class. And then he goes to me and goes, this guy right here, Manny, he's been in the top 2 most viewed powerlifting meets ever. And I was like, oh shucks. So So for those of you who may be into gaming at all, if you ever heard of a man named Tyler One, he is a little short, no-haired guy, pretty muscly guy, plays League of Legends, and he's known for like just going off screaming on his streams. He is big into lifting. He convinced Twitch to start a online powerlifting competition where people would stream from their home. You would get drafted into teams and you would compete for totals, and you get points by your total, and whoever won, I mean, they paid out cash. Legit, Ben told me that when he won the Arnold, he won his weight class and he won the overall and got paid less than streaming from his home gym on one of these Twitch meets.
Mm.
And so the first time they were testing things out, it was going okay. The second time they got a lot bigger of a production, and they invited me, and I was so hyped for that. I took a day off work. I came out here in this garage in like August, and we lifted, and my team won. And then the second time, the third match, they invited me back a third time. And this time it was even bigger and fancier. I mean, at one point we had 100,000 people watching the stream.
Jesus.
And, I'm just out here being a fat guy in a garage, picking up weights, the same thing I would normally do to 12 people or 100 people. And I have 100,000 people watching me, all spamming like League of Legends memes at me. And I'm like, whatever. And, had a really good day. Ended up being the 2-time Twitch Rivals winner. The only person who's won more is Ben, because Ben is a freak of nature. He's a 105 kilo lifter who has squatted like 750, benched 400, and deadlifted 800. So in the Twitch world, he is kind of like the freak, and I've been lucky enough to be on his team every time.
That's awesome. You blow me away with 100,000. Like I've watched some of like the biggest production powerlifting live streams in the world, and they're like I'm like 3,000 people watching them or something. You got nothing. 100K. Now is Twitch full? Are there a bunch of bots on Twitch? There's those like legit 100K.
There can be a lot of bots, but this is also like split. I mean, like so Tyler, he rebroadcasts on his channel. I mean, I don't know if he's on now, but let me see if he has numbers, because every time I look at his numbers, it's disgusting. But some of these people, like, he'll be streaming to like 45,000 people. Jeez. Just doing whatever. And then crazy. It was on the front page of Twitch. So like when you loaded up Twitch and they show you the things we recommend, it was the number one thing they recommend. Kind of like whenever they do a big tournament for Fortnite and that big tournament is huge, it's on the same page as their big tournaments for Fortnite. It's on the Twitch Rivals page. So everyone who's subscribed to that to watch Fortnite and Call of Duty and everything like that now is seeing a powerlifting competition. They're all coming in like, what the heck is this? And they had Cheryl Haywood, who was an Olympic competitive lifter. She was an announcer the second and third time, which was really cool because the announcer they had was a great shoutcaster for games, and he lifts too, but he's not as familiar with how powerlifting worked. And Cheryl, even though she's an Olympic lifter, she understands the movements. She would demonstrate them, talk about, form stuff while we're looking at the reviews of everything and give a lot of insight into it. So they've really been stepping it up as they go. I just keep hoping they keep making more because every time they do, we get so many more new streamers coming into fitness and health community on Twitch. And it's just huge.
That's awesome, man. I've been on Twitch a few times. I think Angelo and Steve would used to do live. They would actually live stream their podcast on Twitch, but I don't think they've ever done that in forever.
I've not seen them on in a long time.
Because they would post like a link in their Instagram story. I think that they were streaming over there, and I go and would catch that periodically. Other than that, I think I've maybe watched a couple powerlifting meets on Twitch. It's harder because it's not for me, like if I want to watch if I want to watch a live stream on a powerlifting meet, I don't want it to be something I can. Well, I guess now I can cache it from my phone a lot easier than I could a few years ago, I guess. But like, I don't want to have to like HDMI from my laptop into my TV or something. I just want to be able to go to YouTube and fucking click on the live stream. But like, there might be some people that actually don't know what Twitch is. Do you want to do like a 90-second kind of? I know Scans probably has no clue what Twitch is because apparently Scans is old. So give the world the 90 seconds. What is Twitch and compare it to maybe something.
So Twitch.tv, I compare it to YouTube. YouTube, you have videos that are up. You have some people you can live stream on YouTube. A lot of people do that now. Twitch was kind of the original streaming site. It started out as Justin.tv about a guy who wanted to stream like his day-to-day life walking around doing stuff. And it evolved into people wanting to play games. So then they split Justin TV and Twitch TV. Twitch was for games, Justin TV was for real life streaming. Then Justin TV went away, it became all Twitch. It got bought out by Amazon. So Amazon is funding it all now. But it has everything. I mean, like I'm looking through my list now of people I'm subscribed to. I have people who are sewing on stream, people who are building keyboards, people who are attractive people wearing swimming suits in hot tubs, people who are lifting weights, people playing video games. Pretty much, if you want to do something and show somebody else it right now, Twitch was like the originator of that idea.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad you found it. It sounds like it sounds like, Twitch is kind of right up there, maybe even exceeding your Massenomics world. Like you found your friends, on the internet. Other than meeting Ben at the Arnold, have you been able to meet any of the other like your Twitch buddies, in real life or anything? Like you have the Massenomics guys?
Yeah, actually, a couple. They have a thing called TwitchCon, which is everyone wants to go to TwitchCon who's on Twitch. Okay. It's kind of like your Comic Con, whatever, but they have sessions where people will come out and talk about things streaming wise. They'll have the famous people there for meet and greets, people making stuff to sell, everything. But it's usually in like San Diego, and being in Illinois, it's a little bit of a travel. Mm-hmm. And a couple years ago, I convinced my fiance that we should go. And I talked to one of the guys that I stream with, actually probably the guy who got me into the Twitch Rivals meets his name is Joe. His stream is Average Joe's _OC. He's a power lifter, lifts in his home gym in like Los Angeles area. And he said, "Hey, you want to come to TwitchCon?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, if you come out, fly in out here by me, I'll pick you up. You can stay at our house. We'll drive down to San Diego the next day." And we ended up getting an Airbnb with like 10 other streamers, and we all went to TwitchCon and we all went to the convention. But being that I don't drink, being that I'm a school teacher, so I got off work at 3 p.m., drove to my dad's house by the airport, slept there overnight, got up at 3 a.m. to go, and got out there. And now I'm 2 hours behind, and I'm trying to maintain my sleep schedule because Tuesday, whenever we go back to school, I have to be back on a 6 a.m. sleep schedule. So I didn't do any of the partying or anything, but everyone else was having a pretty good time doing it. But yeah, I keep telling all the friends, I go, "Hey, TwitchCon is great. It's not aimed at us. TwitchCon is aimed at the people who want to go watch Rocket League video game tournaments or Super Smash Brothers kind of stuff." And I said, "Okay, what you need to do is you all need to come to the Arnold." So this year, I've actually got about another 12, 15 streamers who are coming to the Arnold to meet us all. And so that'll be fun because I told them the Arnold is basically TwitchCon for lifting. If you like lifting more than you like watching people play video games, then the Arnold is where to go. So we're going to have a squad showing up out there. I told them all to come by the Massenomics booth. I'll catch them there because it's easy enough spot. Which, by the way, booth 205.
Well, you guys could just take over because I hear the booth across from Massenomics is empty.
It is.
So you guys just set up a camera, sit at a table.
Y'all
Yeah.
y'all
I
throw
know,
a couple $100 in, you get your $10,000 booth for the weekend.
I know. I'll be swinging by, right? I'll be doing some content. No Twitch
Oh, yeah.
stuff, but
Well, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I'm glad you found your people. I'm glad you're a little diversified too. You're not, you can kind of be really deep into a few different niches. I kind of feel like I've done that the last few years, and it's kind of nice to just be like, all right, I'm part of a few different crazy things here. But let's see. One thing I want to talk about here is you guys went and hung out and worked out with Jen Thompson. I want to hear that story pretty quick. What do
Oh,
you got
yeah.
there? Like that sounds like fun. I think everyone will know who Jen Thompson is, hopefully.
Yeah, Jen used to Twitch stream. And so
Okay.
what they kind of did though was Jen, she kind of had a webcam up in the corner of the gym, and it was almost like just kind of there. And you could type and talk, and occasionally, if they remembered, they would check because they weren't used to Twitch streaming either. They were just doing it because they heard it was a new way to reach out to people, and they weren't used to keeping up with chat kind of stuff. So I would hang out in there just watching, and I'd chime in here and there, and eventually she started realizing I was typing to him, and she would start talking. And so I'd ask her questions, she'd answer my questions, started talking about all kinds of stuff. And one day she said, "Hey, you know what? If you're ever out in North Carolina, you need to let me know." And this was like COVID times. So I had been let go from my teaching job because who needs a band teacher whenever you can't breathe in school without a mask on?
right.
And so I'm sitting there at home and I'm like, man, it's like the fall of COVID. I shouldn't be going anywhere, right? And I talked to my fiance. I said, Jen said we should come out. We have all this time. I wonder if it'd be okay to come out. And so I messaged her one day, and I said, and her husband, if you don't know, Donovan Thompson is also an incredible power lifter, but also a ER doctor. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I'll be fine." I go, "I mean, with all the stuff happening, should we bother coming out?" And she goes,
With everything
"Oh
going on.
no, yeah, everything going on." Donovan said, "No, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to get it either way." And so I said, "Okay." So I said, if the 20-time world champion asked you to come out to her house to lift,
You
I'm
fucking go.
I'm going to take her up on it.
Yep.
So we picked up a night, drove up, dropped the kid off at the grandparents because he was doing remote learning school. He could do it anywhere. I said, all right. Drove down to North Carolina, got a bench session in with her, got a squat session with her, and I'll tell you what. If you've never seen Jen Thompson in person or her husband in person, they are both about the same height. And if you've ever seen Jen Thompson in person, she is like 5'6", maybe, yeah, 5'6", 5'5". So I'm 6'6". And her husband tried to spot me while squatting, and he comes walking up behind me like he's going to back spot me. And I go, yeah, I don't know about the goal. To be honest, he had a reason though. I somehow tweaked my back sleeping like the week before, and it was hurt such pain I could not walk upright, pushing a shopping cart in a store. So I hobble into their house, just like bent over like an old man, get my shoes on, get everything on, go to squat, and unrack like 405. And as soon as the weird thing was, as soon as weight got on my back, the back pain went away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like hobbling over, getting set, pick up 405, and just do like a set of 5. And he goes, "Oh shit, I guess I don't need to spot you." And so we just kind of went up from there to wherever we ended up that day. Jen tried to get me to bench 315 for the first time, and I failed miserably. It was one of those commit Sudoku moments because you just failed 315 in front of the person who could get you to 315 if anyone could.
Mm-hmm.
But then a few months later, I hit it in a competition, and the first thing she did was she messaged me and goes, "I knew you're going to get it." I love Jen. She's so positive.
That's awesome, man. That was a nice heartwarming story. I'm glad we got that.
That's a fun thing. Like the moment you get weight on your, I've noticed that. So like we've complained. I have complained about hypertrophy a few times. Hypertrophies. I've complained about it a few times because like I don't think I love it, but like I really want to do it anyway. And I noticed that if I have DOMs from squatting, deadlifting makes them go away. So
Isn't that
like,
funny?
so I'll squat on the Monday and I'll still be dying on the Wednesday. And I'm like, my abductors, my hamstrings are all on fire. And then the juggernaut will be like, "Yeah, you're deadlifting today." And I'll just be like, "This isn't gonna go well." And then I deadlift, and I'm just like, "This is the best. Keep going." And I'll just like this week, I was in so much pain. Also doing the ab wheel murdered me. And then um, Juggernaut wanted me to do 360 pounds for five for on 3-inch block pulls. It's not a lot to you guys, but to me, like that's a ton of weight, right? Especially, you know, I'm old. I ended up doing 355 instead because my shoulder was going to pop out, but I did 6 reps.
Oh, nice.
And I was just like,
Nice.
this is the best. I ended up doing a grizzly scream. Well, no, like Kapulik, whatever his name is. And Morgan, I guess she came down to the basement because I scared her because she started like yelling for me to see if I was okay. And I wasn't answering because my music was blasting and all the blood was in my legs. But it was just, I'm just saying, like, it's just funny how you're so sore. And then suddenly the weight goes up and you're like, no, I'm okay now. It's war with the bar, Keith.
Yeah,
It's
I got
that's
you.
where I was getting at. It's all war with the
Nice.
bar.
Yes, sir. So will there be a lot of us in July going to war with the bar? Are you going to make it out to Aberdeen there, Justin?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna be out there. I was gonna try to lift, but then I had an idea. Little idea there. I remember last year watching the meet, and for those of you who watched the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic last year, you may have noticed there was no sound.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the reason there was no sound is because YouTube is very litigious. YouTube, if you have any copywritten audio, they just shut it off or shut you off. So if you don't shut the audio off, you're in a bit of a problem. So it everything goes the way I hope it will. I asked Tanner if they would like some help with the stream setup, and now I'm trying to get stuff sorted out to come out and stream it. Like pack up all my computer, all of my ridiculous amount of cameras. So like for you two guys, since you have the camera, I've got a DSLR, a DSLR, a DSLR,
Jesus.
a DSLR, two of which I made a bad choice and I bought like Netflix quality cinema cameras just because I thought it'd be funny because my friends get mad whenever I spend money on stupid things. So I may have bought a $5,000 camera and I was like,
Wow.
hey, this camera over here, yeah, I got a camera that is on a
So he's
wireless rig so I can move it wherever. And the whole thing is transmission. I'm
well,
like, yeah, we can do some fun stuff in a meet with that, maybe.
yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
basically as he's talking, he's he's clicking and showing us like 20 different angles of his gym. So and they're all in like 4K. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, keep in mind this is a gym that's 10 by 20, and I've got 4 wide angle lens cameras in here because if you don't have wide angle lens, you can't get me in frame. So yeah, I'm
So
gonna we're planning on coming out. I think right now we have it set up. We're gonna leave early because it's I'm not a flyer. I
mhm.
am a little too girthy for most airplanes and a little too broke for most business class. So we're driving the Prius out. We're gonna stop about halfway day one, make it up to Aberdeen day two.
Wait, wait, wait.
You're in a pre. I think you're
So
gonna.
the Prius is more roomy than the airplane. Tell me about that.
I have all my life driven small Japanese cars. Like my first car that was my car was a 2-door Honda Civic hatchback. And I swear to God, to this day, as long as you don't buy like a Toyota Corolla, like if you look at the side of a car and it's a 4-door, and the front doors and the back doors are like square shaped, I will not buy it. But if they're like the longer front doors, like the old Hondas had, it's so much room to get in and out of. They have a ridiculous amount of space. Like my Prius now, I have a Prius station wagon, the Prius V, and I can kick my seat all the way back. And at one point, I had my dad, who is 6'2", behind me comfortably in the back
Wow.
seat. And like I feel like I have so much room. My fiance has a Corolla, and I get in that, and I feel like the guy in The Simpsons in the little car.
It's funny. I'm exactly sending Keith that picture right now and telling him to meme this. Yeah, there he is getting the notification. That's what I was playing with the whole time, was sending him the tall guy in the little car meme and being like, meme idea for this.
That is
Are you
funny.
laughing at my automobile?
This is the
Yeah.
only automobile I
I'll
could
have to,
afford.
I'll have to copy your face in that for next week. That'll be good stuff.
That's so funny. You
So
brought it up.
that'll be cool. I'm glad. So you think it'll be there Thursday night or Friday night, or what do you think? Saturday?
I
Well,
think we're
obviously.
planning. I'm planning on trying to get there Thursday because I want to get there because I'm literally, like, when I say I'm packing stuff up in the garage here. When inside, I built a really stupid computer, like, the kind every gamer has to have, where everything lights up, everything from the fans to the power cables light up a rainbow of colors. And then I built the exact same computer with no lights for the garage because I needed something that could handle this. And I'm going to pack that up, pack my monitors up, pack all the cameras up, because I don't know exactly how we're going to try setting it up yet. But I know we're going to have swappable cameras. So I'd like to have it where if there's two platforms, you have a big screen of one platform, an inset of another platform, and you can swap them back and forth as lifters come up or as things happen. I don't know if we're going to have an announcer table or if we're just going to put a mic on Gino and because I have those wireless lavs I was showing you earlier. I got those lav mics. And the reason I mentioned it to them was because if you have a desktop that has a good video card, they have this software that eats audio. Like, I don't know if you realize right now, I have a big ass fan just blasting in the garage. It sounds like if you had like an air conditioner running in here, just humming like a big outdoor air conditioner. But it kills the sound. So I'm hoping we can use that to kill the audio of the music.
Your audio is perfect right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can use that to kill the music audio so we can keep announcer audio because I mean, let's be honest. Gino is like 3/4 of most powerlifting meets entertainment. Mm-hmm. And then you have the flames at the end of the deadlifts. So Gino plus fire is going to be even better.
Well, there's also talk of like entrances, I think, for a third deadlifts, like WWE style entrances. I've already got my music picked out. It's between one of two songs. We're definitely going to have some stupid fun. That remote camera you have might also be good for doing some on-the-spot interviews.
Well, let me just say this too for the remote camera. This camera right now is on a tripod.
Yep.
I may have, as in, don't tell my fiance this. I may have dropped about $600 on a really cool holder that holds a gimbal in the middle, and it holds everything together.
Them. Yep.
So it's everything in one. Has a battery pack, so I can power it for 8 hours and power everything off of it, and it's all stabilized. I'm like, yeah, it's on the credit card. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wish I wasn't lifting, so I could go and do off the side interviews for you. That would be fun as hell.
Yeah, I did. I've been thinking for a while. So the guy who hosts our local meets around here, his name's Al. He was a USPA guy, and I think he went to WRPF now. But in the St. Louis area, he has a company streaming meets. And after watching like the American Pro and stuff like that, I'm like, man, everyone streaming meets is just like stationary camera with a spreadsheet up.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
and then,
boring as shit.
Then I saw. Yeah, then I saw last year at the deadlifts, you guys had they had the flamethrowers, and Rachel told me I could not get them for the garage, and I was very sad. I have enough overhead space for them, I think, but she said no. But I'm like, man, that's what we need. It needs stuff. It needs explosions. It needs people like, well, hopefully not people falling down in deadlifts again. I don't want to see any snipers taking out John Oldham.
So does every streaming platform like basically mute anytime there's music, or
yes and no? Twitch will mute it afterwards. So whenever you record, whenever you stream, it records and saves a VOD. And if you haven't saved VODs, it goes back and it scrubs those VODs for stuff, and then it mutes them. Gotcha. So it'll still be all there, it'll just be dead spots. So what we do now instead is if we want music, I set it up to where I can run music out to the stream, but it runs out on a separate audio channel so it doesn't get saved to the VOD.
Okay.
So I can still hear music whenever I'm streaming. I can still play it out to the stream. They can hear what I'm listening to, but it's on a separate audio channel. So if we wanted to do something like that, we could have music streaming out. It just wouldn't go to the VOD.
Gotcha.
It would
And
just be
that kind of,
it would just be a dead spot like the first 30 seconds of this podcast.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
it was
you
like
just
15 minutes.
don't hit record.
I think I hit record. It was more of a just an acknowledgement. I don't know. I'm gonna be so pissed if that.
Speaking of WRPF, did you?
Yeah.
I just realized I messaged them the other day. My meat results are still not up from December. Like it wasn't a cheap meat either. Like all I ask
on WRPF or on open powerlifting.
On open powerlifting,
they might just have
was it early December?
December 9th.
Are you looking for the meat, or are you just looking for your name? Because
just looking for my name.
Yeah, look. Does Steve's check? See, well, that was Steve's first meet too. But if Steve has one, like, because sometimes, like, if somehow you put your name in wrong or different, like, are you literally?
Yeah,
like,
they put it under Joey.
If you had Joseph in one and Joey in one, or Joe in one, both. Like it's all okay. Then yeah, I don't know. That's strange.
Well, no, I
did you search by meats,
and I was like, guys, like, it's not up there, and they were like, holy crap, it's not.
Okay,
and,
okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's kind of weird. I think this happened last time. I had to like fight them to get my stuff on OPL.
Interesting.
Do you remember what was the meet called?
Oh.
Or where was it?
Liftmas, Apex Liftmas, Burlington, Ontario.
Yeah, because I remember for a while I couldn't find myself because something got messed up with my open powerlifting, and yeah, I don't. So it's WRPF.
Yeah,
yeah, they don't. It's not even nothing from Canada's up from that day.
Yeah, so it's just not up.
Crazy.
Like they confirmed it, it's not up, and that's kind of like out of pocket. Like, let's go, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, hey, so, I have a question. No, shh.
I've been hogging it all, so have at it.
I don't know if this is like talkable aboutable. Why mini action Jesus?
Oh, that's easy. It's very easy. Like, very talk aboutable. Years ago, my grandma was always one of those really strict people. You had to get a haircut all the time. So I just stopped, cutting my hair for years. And I had this weird beard genetics, weird hair genetics, where my beard would just stop at like 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. And so I would trim it up, look okay, but my hair kept growing. And I eventually had really long hair, probably like, not like Tanner long, but like onto my shoulders, make a good ponytail long. And, well, it just so happened at about the same time, this was like a double whammy. My friend's dad, every time I'd come over, he would call me like mini, tiny, something like that. And my teacher would call me Fat Jesus.
Wow.
It was college, so college teachers can be a little out of pocket. But he could call me Fat Jesus. And then simultaneously, I had a friend who we would send just random weird videos to each other. He sends me a video that makes no sense to this day why it was so funny. But it was like a video of a nature documentary of baby ducklings jumping out of a tree in slow motion and crashing into the leaves down below. Played to a song by a band called the Volume Men called Miniature Action Jesus. That was about a Jesus action figure. So what happened was, I was like, this is kind of serendipitous. So I made my gamer tag that on Steam. And, all my friends have changed their gamer tag. This was like 2007, 2008. And I've kept it ever since. And then what happened was I was starting to get ready for school. My Twitch channel used to be a different name. I never had Instagram to this point. And when you're going to school to be a teacher, you have to take a class that's like responsible social media usage. And one of the things they said was, don't put anything online you don't want anybody to see. So what I took that as was, everything I don't want people to see, I need to put it under a different name.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed my Twitch account's name to match my gamer tag. I figured that makes it easier to find. You're playing games. Okay. I made an Instagram, made it the same as my gamer tag and my stream name. Makes sense. And then it just kind of stayed. I would love to change it. In fact, the only reason I have not changed it is because there is a person on Twitch who is a partner, which means they used to have like 100 average streamers or viewers, and they get a higher pay rate stuff out of subs and everything. His name was Minnie, and he hasn't streamed in 7 years, but because he's a partner, they're never going to clear that name out. So if he was just a regular affiliate or a non-affiliated streamer, after so long of not logging in, they just boot you out. and the name becomes free. But because he's a partner, it's kind of like, they signed a contract saying you're going to be exclusive. Well, if he hasn't streamed in 7 years, technically he's still exclusive. Technically he's still a partner, so they're not going to free clear his name.
Hmm.
So I could be many, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That's and I'm sure you've tried to like reach it. There's no way to like DM. I mean, I'm sure you've reached out to DM the guy who's like, all right, dude, I'll give you like $500. Give me my goddamn name. I'm like,
Well, he hasn't been online that I've
okay,
seen.
so I got
Is he alive?
That's a good question. I mean, he used to be a competitive professional gamer in a game that literally the game died in like 2018.
Oh yeah, there's just no reason to log in.
Yeah. Like he was a pro streamer in that game and then it died and then he just never came back.
All right. I love that explanation. I definitely did not get blasphemous like I was afraid it would. So that's why I was like, can we do this? Can we talk about this?
No. Mostly it came from my friend's dad and my teacher who kept calling me names and it happened to call me Fat Jesus and Minnie at the same time and it all worked out.
All right, Keith, what's your next one?
the only one I really want to hit on defendant. Well, we have some games and stuff, but tell me about your home gym. So, you said you never got into the commercial gym setting. You just went from having no gym to starting out the home gym. Let me hear all that.
I started. We had a local Golds, and like everybody who has ever never lifted but is aware of it, of Gold's Gym because they were everywhere at the time. So I got us. It was like the Black Friday deal. And when I realized I was too fat, I went to Black Friday deal and they said, well, if you sign up now, you get through the end of the year for free and then you won't start charging you to the beginning of the year. It's a year contract. Okay. So I start going to Golds and it's okay. I mean, I would go every day. I would at least do an hour of cardio and then I would lift on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as you would with doing strong lifts 5x5. But then I started realizing, I'm like, man, these bars suck. And they have a squat rack. Like they have one of those open top squat racks like every high school gym has. But then they have like one really good squat rack. And a really good squat rack, there was always some dude like using the squat rack to do pull-ups, even though they have 7 other pull-up bars and the cable crossover with pull-up bars. Or one day a guy was using it to do sit-ups in the squat rack.
Oh,
of all things. And I'm like, this sucks. So I'm thinking, like, well, if I'm paying $40 a month, that's $480 a year. How much would it cost to buy a bar, some weights, and a rack?
That's how
so
it
I
starts.
bought a Titan rack for like $380. This was when Titan was cheap, and I bought the 3x3 rack for like $380. I bought an absolute dumpster of a bar, but it had good neural. This is the cheapest cap bar on a Amazon sale for like $100. And it turns out there's a company. Are you guys aware of Intech?
I think I've heard of it, maybe.
No.
One of the things they've really made that's popular these days is like a stainless steel dumbbell that has the self-centering logo on it. Okay. So as you move the dumbbell, it stays centered. Turns out they're about 20 minutes away. And so I go over there to check it out. And the guy goes, what we do is we end up buying an entire, like if a high school needs to upgrade, we buy all of their old equipment, bring it into our warehouse and like wholesale it off. And then we sell them all their new stuff and install it. So it's like, if you want to come look, we've got all kinds of stuff. I went in there, they had like a wall of crates of weights. So I bought weights for like 25 cents a pound. Ooh. And finished them up and used that cheap bar. Built myself a bench pad. They sold me a heavy duty bench for like $25 without the pad. And I made my own pad because I did upholstery for I wanted to be a car stereo installer a long time ago, so I went to school for that and got really good at it, and then never found a job because I live in a freaking cornfield. Then I started adding a little bit. Eventually, at one point, I had a full strongman gym. I had a log, a yoke, farmer's handles, but it was just such a hassle setting up. So I sold all that. Had a belt squat, had a GHD, too much space, just sold that. And I'm like, well, shit, what am I going to do? Well, then about the time I discovered Ben Rice, this was Christmas break. I'm sitting at home because I'm a teacher doing nothing. Fiance's working. I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to look at Kabuki for something real quick. And I see they have all this stuff. They have that Klarna pay, the split payment. I'm looking at it and I'm going, I wonder if I qualify for split payment. So I add the cheapest thing that was in stock in the cart, which was their scratch and dent squat bar for like $719. Because I really wanted the transformer. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to see if I qualify. Because every time you qualify any other time, you click the button and it goes, you qualify for like $2,000. Okay, click to continue or don't. I click it and it just goes through and buys the $700 squat bar. It goes,
Oh,
you qualified and it's ordered. And this was like the Friday after Christmas. So I email and I call and I email and I call. And then finally I hear back, oh no, we're out until after the beginning of New Year. And so I ended up getting a $700 barbell. And I went, well, I can't return it because it's a scratch and dent model. Yes, I'm stuck with a $700 barbell and a 400-pound squat. So then my friends thought it was really dumb that I had a $700 barbell. So I bought a transformer bar. And I went, you know what? You know what would really annoy them? What if I bought every bar Kabuki has?
no.
Legitimately, it started because I thought it would be funny just how annoyed it would make Ben, because Ben was my coach for a while.
It's not.
It was hilarious because I was like, hey Ben, guess what? I got the Cadillac bar. He's like, are you gonna use it? And I go, probably not.
Yeah. Am I going to get strong now, Ben? Am I going to get strong?
I use my Cadillac bar once a week.
I use my Texas deadlift bar once a week.
I don't have their new bars. And what I kept telling people, I kept telling them it's simple. You got to have every Kabuki bar. It's like World of Warcraft. If you get the set, you get the set bonus, right? If you wear all 8 pieces of it. So if I get all the Kabuki bars, then once a month, you can channel the power of Chris Duffin on a single lift and you get a 30-day cooldown on it. So it's simple. I got to get all the bars so I can get that one lift a month.
I don't think I would recommend wasting your money on their 2 economy bars. Was it the Columbia bar and what's the new one? That's the 28.5 quote unquote power bar. I'm like, I don't need one of those, but it's only like $300.
It's not a waste of money. You just need to mine more minerals.
I mean, I've already got a Liu Xiaojun stainless power bar I've been trying to sell on Facebook for like 8 months and no one wants to buy it, even though I'm like, it is legitimately the exact same feel as the Rogue stainless power bar for way cheaper than what the Rogue one was.
How many do you know how many bars you have?
Oh, let's count. 1.
Switch cameras.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I love this. This is the best. I'll interview you every day because of this.
5, 6, 7. I got an axle. How about a $300 curl bar? Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I've got a strength curl bar over in the corner. So that's
which one?
11?
Not the Dan. You don't have the Dan Bell one over there, do you?
I do not. I did not.
No.
I did not get the Dan Bell one. I did. He gave me one of the core bars.
Oh, okay. Is that from last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I snuck a few plates out.
Yeah, it's a really good bar. It's just I don't use it very much because when I use 28.5, it feels kind of I don't know why. It's not that much of a difference, but it just feels a little weird because I only use it for bench.
It definitely feels a little bit like I had pretty much never. I mean, I have always owned a Texas Power Bar, but I always defaulted to the Rogue, to the 29 Power Bar. But then when big XBC Dave there likes his Texas Power Bars on bench, so then I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do a whole block of benching with the Texas Power Bar. So I don't think I've maybe benched with it once since that meet, but I got a USPA meet, so I'm just using 29 millimeter bars until then, and then as soon as that's over, I'll switch back over to a Texas Power Bar to bench to prep for his, because it really is it's noticeable. Like it just feels like does it matter? No, it really doesn't. But if you're OCD like me, it's like it fucking matters if the bar is how girthy it is in your hand each time. So no, I can definitely appreciate a large barbell collection like yours.
Hey, here's the fun thing about me that might bother both of you. I have no clue how many millimeters any of my bars are. Just so you know. Yeah. I've got the Bear Steel Power Bar 2.0. I've got, see, it's fucking wild that you know that. And I've got the Texas Deadlift Bar Bear Steel.
27.
Yeah. Great. Didn't know any of that.
I had a Bell's. I've probably sold twice as many bars as this because at one point I owned a stainless and a raw Ohio Power Bar plus a Bell's of Steel Power Bar, and I greatly disliked it. For different reasons than what you'd expect, though. The cheap bar, I used to buy weights off Facebook, and the guy would just be like, "Here's a bar that came with it." I'm like, "Oh, gross." Some bolt-in bar that
Yeah.
you
Now
feel
I
like it's
gotta
going to fall apart.
now I gotta waste time selling this thing for like $30.
Yeah, but it was nice because I ended up selling them all during COVID. I sold about 800 pounds of weights, but I wasn't going to jack it up. I sold the
Mm.
weights like whenever they're going for like $2 a pound for just beat up plates. I'm like, I paid 50 cents a pound for them. I'll sell them for like 70 cents a pound.
Yeah.
The
I
shitty
just
thing
want
is,
to,
someone bought those and sold them for $2 a pound, though.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
But I
that's
mean,
on them. Your
most of the
conscience
people
is
who were
clear.
buying them were buying a small chunk though. So it wasn't like someone bought all 800
Okay.
pounds. It was like a woman I talked to was like, I need a bar and like 225. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Meet him somewhere, sell that.
I sold some for about $1 a pound. I think I paid $2.50 a pound when I bought them during COVID. And because I just needed weight, I ended up buying bumper plates. And it turns out I fucking hate bumper plates. So I ended up just doing everything I could to get rid of those. $1 a pound, get him out of my basement.
Well, then of course this too. When I was working with Ben, he hated kilos. I've always
I
liked how
hate
kilos
kilos.
I
looked.
hate
I've
kilos.
always liked how comp plates looked, especially in my gym that was at the time 100% brown and it looked like I was in the inside of a UPS truck. And I said, I need some color. I cannot just have gray plates. So whenever this was the 2019 Black Friday sale came around, I bought those plates. And when I tell people, I bought those plates, the tree, an extra pair of 20 kilos, a pair of collars, and a stainless steel power bar. And all of that was about 600 less shipped to my door than just the plates on the Black Friday sale last year would have been.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
I mean, technically, I made money off this.
if you don't like the way your plates look, you can use our code at Plate Snacks and get a discount on some
True.
some decals.
Yeah,
Yes,
could get
some
some.
decal.
Some
If you call him a
decals.
decal, I'm going to be very sad.
Code unpaid.
Code unpaid. Save some money on those Plate Snacks. Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, gym equipment
No,
talk.
no,
I have
we're
no
good.
clue what I'm going on about. I've got some
No, I
like
think
tri-grip neoprene shit because weight is weight to me. They're calibrated. They're all 45 pounds.
yeah, close enough. Let's see. I probably got three more things we can hit on. I have two games, and I know Joey's got one more question. I'll do a game, then Joey do his question. We'll do the last game, and probably move into. Well, I mean,
What's my question? Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna do I'll do the Mount Rushmore. You do your question, then we'll finish with
Fuck, I'm still awake. I promise.
Okay, so you're familiar with the Mount Rushmore game where I'm gonna give
Yeah,
you a topic
yeah.
and you gotta give me your what is it, four, right? So I want to hear your Mount Rushmore for barbells in your home gym, or if
Mount
I guess
Rushmore for barbells.
yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Number one, the bar that I recommend to the most people, whether you buy this bar or you buy a similar bar of the same type, is the Transformer bar. Transformer bar is the bar that if I needed to use one every week, I could use that. And I tell people, you don't have to spend $800 on Transformer. Get a Titan Bells of Steel, whatever Elite FTS safety squat bar, but a safety squat bar is so damn good. But I just like the adjustability. And in fact, when I told you how stupid my bar selling was, I had the black original unscrew the end, pop it off,
Oh yeah,
rotate it.
I've used that one.
And
I've hated it.
when this one came out, I put that one up for sale and bought this one. Had two transformer bars at the same time, and so I sold it just because I wanted the pop adjustments.
I
But
don't blame you.
now I see the Rogue one, and I'm like, oh, I gotta sell it again. I need another one. But yeah, safety squat bar of some sort.
Yep.
I wanted a Mars bar. Here's a fun fact for you. The guy who makes the Mars bars made one to fit Brian Shaw. And I contacted him directly about that one, and he brought it in, and I put it on, and it does not fit my chest.
Oh wow.
I am fatter than Brian Shaw. So I'd say bigger. I mean, just fatter, legitimately.
Nate, that is the episode title this week. Someone write that down. Nate, someone text that to Nate now. I'm fatter than Brian Shaw. That has to be the episode title. Gotcha. So I've tried both the Mars bars. I don't know. I wasn't a fan, but I don't know. Maybe someday. Sorry,
I'm
sorry, I didn't
also
interrupt
I'm
you.
also not a low bar squatter. Like whenever you see the people low bar and I see
Hmm.
them from the front and it looks like the bar's coming out mid shoulder, like John Keiko is really low. Everyone tells me, "Oh yeah, you're doing low bar," and I look at myself and I squat with like the same position as Ray, and I go, Ray's doing like a high bar. He's doing like what I call super heavyweight low bar, which is as low as we can get it before it starts building up on our chubs.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that'd be my primary. Primary, of course, you've got to have a deadlift bar.
Yep.
And if you're going to have a deadlift bar, you might as well have the cheatiest one that fits in all federations. And I had the Kabuki deadlift bar. Ever since I got that thing, I won't say my deadlift has gone up, but I will say I can safely, whenever I was lifting regularly and not hurt, I could pull up to like 550 with no chalk and never had to worry about tearing a hand or anything because the grip, I feel this neural is like perfect. I've
So
used the
sure.
Texas, I've used Rogue, and Rogue, I'm sorry, Bill Hager, I'm sorry, but I do not like your deadlift bar. It is the slickest thing known to man. Um,
Also stiff
I
like
want,
shit, but that's it.
yeah, yeah, and I really want to. I wanted a mammoth bar just for the
Mhm.
memes of having a 10-foot bar in a 11-foot gym. But then of course Arsenal went out of business, so I can't get one. So we got those two. Then it's tough. I'm saving one because one is my go-to savior of my life every day I use it. I'd have to say trap bar,
Okay.
Kabuki trap bar. When I don't feel like pulling sumo because I am a large person who pulls sumo. When I want to just pick up weights and not think about it, I just throw the trap bar down and load her up and let her rip. I hated it at first, could not figure out how to pull on it, and then last year I did an online meet. I did the garage gym meet,
Hmm.
and because Average Joe's was one of the he was one of the announcers for the stream of it, where they went over people's lifts, and he's like, "You got to do it." And I go, "Well, I guess I got to do it." So I'd never been able to pull over 500 on it, and I pulled like 683 on it because it just clicked all of a sudden. I went, "Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm bending too far over, like I'm pretending it's a conventional deadlift, not a trap bar deadlift." So those three, my final one has to be my first mistaken purchase, the bar that I cannot live without, the squat bar.
Yeah.
I am way too immobile to get under. I cannot fit under a power bar anymore.
Hmm.
My shoulders, I cannot figure out. Every time I ask someone, how do I work on mobility? Their answer is, you got to do shoulder mobility. And I go, great, thank you. I wanted to hear a circle.
Hmm.
But the squat bar lets me get my big butt under a bar. I can reach all the way to the edge. And in fact, I am hand to hand, collar to collar on an 8-foot squat bar. And I feel cramped sometimes. So that combined with, do I have them over there? The, where the 12 11 rack extenders, the
Hmm.
ones that move the J cups in.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
my hand, I don't have to worry about squishing my hands when I come back in.
No, yeah, I've seen those.
Those make squatting so good for a
Nice.
person who is a lot more spherical.
And but
Spherical. That's good.
I'm surprised you don't use the Cadillac bar more if you're that fucked up in your shoulders, man. A neutral grip bench press is like my go-to when I have any kind of shoulder or like pec issue.
And that's the thing. I don't have issues.
Okay.
I just don't have the flexibility. Like I get
Makes
under the
sense.
bar. I cannot get when I get under the bar on a power bar and get it on my back and my hands in a comfortable position. It's like on my third vertebrae up the neck.
Hmm.
Like I cannot get my shoulders down, and I don't
Gotcha.
know. I just don't know what I need to do to get that. Like I whenever I was working out regularly, every day would start with shoulder mobility, chest stretch, like opening up the pecs, trying to stretch the lats by hanging. It just never got better.
Hmm.
Never got any different.
Well, I guess as long as you stay away from USAPL, you should be good. Or in Powerlifting America, US, you know.
Well, I ain't got to worry about that because a couple years ago I found out my test levels were low enough I could be considered a female in the Olympics. So, so I gotta fix that.
Nice. We're so stuck on you, Juicy Justin.
Hey, just a little bit of juice, just a side of juice, a little sippy cup.
Juice adjacent. All right, Joe, you got something for him?
Yeah. Uh, there's a fun thing that happens whenever we're recording is just the craziest shit gets sent to me while we're recording. Um, and I'm going to break something now. I'm not going to break too much. I have a little permission to do so. But I am now aware of who the last person to get a Massenomics tattoo is. So I know Tanner said there's one more person, and he's not telling us who it is. I have now been chatting with that person. They have shown me the picture. I know who that person is. Because again, the Massenomics Tattoo Club is an elite club. There's not very many of us. I think 5. I think there's 5 or less of us. But now I am now completely aware of who that person is. It's so funny that this happens while I'm recording, talking to you guys. And then last week, like this big guest that I really want to get on confirmed while we're recording. And like I lost my mind in the middle of talking to, I think, and it wasn't Lou, but it was Tara, like, whew, or Laura. Wow. This is a wild game. This is a wild game we play here doing this Massenomics podcast. Like,
I guess the question is, was it someone you would have expected?
I do the unpaid and underrated podcast personally.
Yes, this Massenomics based podcast, I guess, because like it's just me. I'm a nobody, and people are responding to me like big names and telling me things. It's fucking great. I do have a question. Question. There's 2, I think, isn't there?
I mean, well, I wanted to finish the FMK, but do whatever you want.
Fucking balloons. You see that? Okay, yeah. Let's do that. I actually have a thing. So I don't know how many episodes you've listened to, but we have a lot of musicians in the crew. Most of them are bassists. There's some fucking wild amount of bassists. So
okay, don't look over here.
Yeah. So let's say we've got a huge amount of bassists. I used to do some singing. I know we've got a drummer, at least one drummer. I think we've had a guitarist. We had who is it that plays a drummer was Lou. So in the crew band, what are you playing? Because you are a band teacher. Well, this is the reason I'm asking. I want to give people this background. You're a band teacher. You teach children to play, which I know is impossible to do. So you have all the patience of Job. You're What are you playing though? In the crew band, and you can't see the triangle.
Well, that's the sad thing is I play the instrument that is the most stereotypical for me. And I bet I don't even have to have you guys guess. You could probably guess.
The stand-up bass like Peter O'Toole.
I did play bass. I mean, I do play electric bass. They're not on stand-up bass, though.
No? You're not like Type O Negative, just playing it like it's a real bass because you're a giant human?
I mean, I took a bass class in college, and I was the only person who they didn't have to even worry about the end pin because I had to like pick it up all the way to play it.
I only say that because I've stood next to you. Like I have stories at the Arnold. The story at the Arnold is, of course, not even involving me or you, but it's Grant asking, "Hey, where's Justin?" and then just yelling, "Somebody go get Justin." And then I had to fight the Saturday crowd. I was just like, I'm on it because I'm just like a nerd at the Arnold trying to help people cooler than me. And so I was like, I'm on it. And then I'm like fighting the crowd up through like the Bells of Steel all the way up to the Massenomics thing to find you. And you're just like, yeah, I guess I have that camera. And then like we had to like fight our way back to the Strength Co booth. But if anybody wants to see, I probably come up to Justin's hip. I think on my size, like I'm dwarfed by him. So that's why I made the stand-up bass joke. But yeah, what instrument are you gonna play?
So I played a little bit of everything. Like I told you guys, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, middle of a cornfield. It was me and my dad. Didn't have a lot to do. This was like right about the time internet existed, and we didn't have it for sure. So I learned how to play saxophone, flute, clarinet, trumpet, trombone, and drum set, mostly on my own, living in a cornfield because I had nothing better to do. And then I got to high school, and I've been on the same instrument since high school, which is the tuba. So I've been playing tuba since like 2001 with like a 5-year hiatus when I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I went back to school, been playing tuba ever since. But now, as a band director, I pretty much have to play everything but tuba because I don't really there's not a whole lot of 6th grade tuba players. You mentioned bass. One of the games I stream on Twitch is a game called Rocksmith, where you plug in an actual bass or guitar and you play a game that's almost like Guitar Hero, but the actual notes on the actual instrument. And there I have like a few. Yeah, it's really cool because people can make their own DLC for it, like with whatever song they want. And so there's all kinds of songs on there. Great music, bad music, like trash arrangements. So I've been getting back into playing bass lately because of that. But for a band wise, I've pretty much only ever played drums and bass in like a band. Or, if we want to go to the greatest music of all time, I could probably pick up a trombone and play some ska with it.
Oh, interesting. I think you're our first ska fan. We've had metal fans, country fans, classical fans.
Well, I like all that too, but
ska the greatest.
If I'm lifting, I probably have a ska playlist, and Spotify is so good at it now that I just say, like, here's a playlist of songs I've listened to before, and just send me stuff that you think I'll like. And 99% of the time, it sends me stuff I like. I just let the AI roll the playlist, and my friend comes in, my friend Rocket, he's from Southern California, so of course he's got to like ska, right? Southern California is where it started. No, he hates ska. Every time he comes in, he just talks mad shit on it. So every time I go in his chat.
But does he like Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's yeah, I agree with that too. The Bucky California. Who's the greatest ska band of all time?
That's tough. I mean, greatest in terms of quality or greatest in terms of reach? Because if you want reach, it's Real Big Fish probably, because even if you hate ska, you probably know Real Big Fish. They were in one of the best movies of all time, Basketball.
Basketball, yep.
They were the house band for the Milwaukee Brewers.
I think I'll have myself a beer. Yep.
In terms of bands I've seen in person, Streetlight Manifesto still blows my mind how well together they can play live. It sounds like an angrier, faster version of their recordings with how clean it is.
Are the Dropkick Murphys ska?
There's like a guy.
They have ska elements.
They do. There's a guy. I want to say it's the guy. His name was it the Punk Rock MBA on YouTube? He does a whole bunch of stuff, like in-depth videos about music.
I know him. Yeah. I could picture him. He's got the eye twitch. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I thought it was him. It might not have been him, but someone did a video that was like, "What is ska?" And really, the big thing behind ska is an upbeat, not upbeat like happy, but an emphasis on the upbeats of music. So instead of being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the guitar is going to be like bop, 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 bop on the upbeat of the music. So it's so like Real Big Fish does it a lot in all their songs. They'll be like fast song, bop, 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 playing a little upbeat. You get that thing happening. That is technically what he claims ska is. Other than that, you get like the mix of like whatever genres it could be.
Yeah, it's just reggae's like that.
Yeah, reggae came from ska originally. Ska, the idea of ska has been around since like the 1930s. Like the original ska, and then now it's molded into this more ska punk kind of thing.
Yep.
But in my belief, I would call the Dropkick Murphys at least ska adjacent.
Yeah, that's a good word, especially for this podcast. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, they're at least in the family. They're at least welcome to the table when you're at the ska party. But I'm not going to kick out some Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, they're invited to the hot dog barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
Vegan hot dog barbecue, of course, knowing the Dropkicks.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still gonna be eating the beef ones.
No, yeah, me too. I guess we've bored everybody enough here with our music talk. It's a fun thing. It's interesting that like somebody pointed out that just my knowledge of music is kind of crazy. So I love being able to just like hear everybody else get passionate about music. I might not know enough. I don't know a lot, but I know enough to trigger that passion in people.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I love doing every time. I do
the same thing with anime. I don't watch anime, but I know enough about anime to say the
Yep.
wrong things to people that are really excited about it and be like, "Oh yeah, it's just like whenever Sasuke got the Dragon Balls," and they're like, "No, that's not it. That's not anything."
You're just enough to okay, that's triggering people. Like you're gaslighting them at that point, but it's like me with Star Trek versus Star Wars. The moment somebody like tries to out nerd me, I go, "Well, what's the difference?" Like we've been talking about it for weeks. What's the difference? Because it gets people so mad.
Yes, it's so much fun sometimes.
It is. I think Keith is bored.
No, no, I'm good.
He's got the same face I had during all the barbell talk.
I'm trying to like trying to grasp how long we've been going like an hour or 40.
All
So
right, calm down, calm
like,
down, calm down.
no. We got two more probably, and then
I have one.
yeah, hit him with something.
No. You know what? It's an unpaid overrated. You go ahead.
Yep. Well, okay. There's one at the top. We skipped over the what is the one piece of Massenomics merch you wish you had got before it went into the vault?
Gosh, I'm trying to think of what I even missed because there was a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. Like, I guess I don't have the original run of the lift and bench heavy stuff. I have like the rerun that came back after like COVID times because I whenever I was there the first time in 19, that was their first booth. And I remember seeing this stuff, and I was just at my first job at that time too, so I didn't. I'm a teacher, so I'm not rolling in money. But I looked at the shorts and I went, I'm gonna get some someday. But you know what? What I really wish, and this is gonna be my subtle jab to Tanner and Tommy.
Why we're
I
here.
would really love some Lift Shorts 3 in plus sizes. Give me some girthy boy shorts that I can wear around. And, I've been wanting the shorts. I still have my lift shorts. I have my deadlifter shorts. I have my curl shorts. But I wanted the Lift Shorts 3. I'm just not there. I'm not skinny enough to fit in the big ones. I say skinny enough, but I'm also like the size of like two 100-kilo lifters. So I don't think I'm ever going to be there.
Now, those were those ones with the $2 bills in the pockets? Which
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I for some reason, whatever I bought those when I was like leaving the cusp of kind of like 200-ish pounds and getting like significantly bigger. And I remember just squatting down and like a pair of mediums just blowing the quad completely out of them. I was like, all right, I guess
I'm shocked I haven't smashed through mine. I asked recently if there were any lift silkies around too, because my lift silkies are just getting a little small. Well, like a little small comparatively, because like they're made to be small. Like
Yeah.
those silkies are boudoir shorts for sure. Like I like them though. They're perfect for deadlifts and squats.
I did buy a pair of not theirs, but because I found a company that made like really, really big size silkies, and I bought a pair just to wear on stream once because it'd be funny. And then I wore them on stream and I was like, oh boy, I'm about to slip one of the boys out there. I better not wear those anymore.
Yeah, the mouse is out the house.
Yeah.
Can you send me that company? Because I am interested in more silkies.
I'd have to remember the name. All I remember was it had a picture of a tiger on the leg and it said "Thigh of the Tiger."
Oh no. All right, yeah. I know the company that shall not be named recently released some velour shorts, and I was like, damn it, I really want velour shorts, but I don't want to give you money. So like
Well,
that's
also the company that shall not be named makes shirts about like being large and they stop in 2XL. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, good job, Omar. You kind of missed the
Didn't they? We
the fuck
said
with
shall
that one.
not be named Keith
Nah,
Keitherton.
ass muffin.
Keith David Keitherton.
That's me.
I think he
One of
might
the
have me
Davis.
banned by now. I used to send
Yeah,
him
me
pictures
too.
of my calves after a workout. So I've got
Yeah.
like 22-inch fat guy calves.
I love it. Well, I think we covered a good amount of what we had. Is there anything else just jumping out at you before we go to FMK?
Nah, but nah, leave the second one for me because I want to
Yeah.
talk about that one a little longer.
Yeah. Oh, for on the FMK or
No, the unpaid or underrated.
oh yeah. Okay. Yep, I got you.
Yeah, move to FMK. Oh wait,
Yes.
we're losing them.
I'm just standing up. My stool's not meant for long-term bun sitting.
Aaron out the boys. All
Yeah,
right.
just give him the cheeks a rest.
So
Just in his stool.
we're gonna hit you a little fuck Mary kill here. I'm
Okay.
gonna go so three things specifically picked for you.
Wait,
I'm
the F is
gonna
for fuck?
oh yeah. Fuck off. You're the douche. All right, Justin. So FMK working the Massenomics booth at the Arnold, live streaming on Twitch, playing World of Warships. FMK. Hashtag use your druthers.
Okay. This is a relatively easy one.
Okay.
So so definitely kill World of Warships.
Okay.
I love the game, but good lord, does that company know how to make everything cost money?
Mhm.
I mean, like,
Microtransactions.
yeah. So they have this thing where they're like, hey, we've got like 700 ships in the game, and most of them you can earn by just playing. But if you buy this bundle, you get boosts that give you more XP to earn the ships faster. And by the way, the lower ships suck. So you might want to get some boosts. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna get some boosts. And they're like, oh right. Now you got the top ship in this line. Do you want a camo? We'll give you the first one discounted. It's only 3,200 coins. You're like, oh, how much is 3,200 coins in real money? Oh, like $14 for a camo. And you're like, how much is this thing full price? Like $45 for a camouflage. And you're like, this is dumb. I'm gonna buy it. No, I shouldn't.
I hate that I'm going to give you money.
Yeah, and it's that thing where it's like, I want to play a game and I want to look cool. So kill it because I hate that. I missed, you had a game, you had the full game, you played, you got stuff. Boomer yelling at the cloud kind of thing. Like, these kids with their cloud based gaming today. No, I just.
Sound like Keith last week.
Yeah.
So definitely kill
Who are you,
that.
Big Keith?
Now here's the tough one.
Yeah.
Who do you fuck? Who do you marry? Okay. I would have to say you would have to fuck working a Massenomics booth. Because
once a year is good enough.
yeah, I mean once a year. And the thing is too, it's like when you're built like me and you look like me, that once a year makes you feel important.
And when you're fucking the Massenomics booth, you have the luxury of fucking a bunch of other booths, as I shared earlier. Because now you're fucking the Strength Co booth. You're probably fucking one of the like Build Fast Formula booth. You're fucking the Obsidian Ammonia booth. Like you're working there, but you're the slut of all of the Massenomics groups.
And as a person who went to the Arnold, as a person who knew nothing, so it was weird. The first time I went to the Arnold, I knew nobody, knew nothing. I walked in and I saw Ray Williams and I went, "That's a big boy." And I didn't know who he was. And then the thing that happened was I watched him squat 1,000 pounds, and that was like my 6 month lifting powerlifting. And I go, Jesus, you could do that? And then the next day, I got to walk up to him at the SPD booth and be like, "Hey, Ray, you're big, I'm big. Where do we find big guy shoes?" And we talked about shoes, and I'm like, "Holy shit, powerlifters are just people."
Yep,
and they're nice people. And so then, like going back the next time, the whole time you mentioned earlier driving or like listening to podcasts back to back. We drove to the Arnold. Rachel did not know who these guys were. I told her, hey, yeah, they asked if I could help out, if I have some time to help out. So we might be around their booth a little bit. She's like, all right, like, who are they? So the whole way out there, we listened to the podcast. And then we got there. On the way back, listened to the new podcast that had just dropped on Sunday night. And she's like, oh, it makes so much more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a whole experience because like now she loves going out there and hanging with the guys because I mean, let's be honest, Midwestern people.
We all had fun.
There's not many Midwestern people that don't get along with Midwestern people. And on top of that, whenever we share similar interests, even better.
Yeah.
I mean, I can hang out with the people who go deer hunting all day. I ain't getting up at 3 a.m. to go sit in a tree. But if we're all talking about picking up heavy circles and putting them back down, yeah, sure.
Ontario is not Midwest, but I can assure you, I did not feel out of place once. I walked in with a cooler and I was like, I have beer. Who's got room? And 2 people went, my room. Like, I've got room. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I put Mary for Twitch is because there's easily 50 people that I now know through Twitch that I know better than anybody I know locally. Like, I am the most introverted extrovert that I've ever ran into. I don't like going out and being around general people, but I do like talking to people. And I think that's just the Midwestern thing. Midwestern people are born to bullshit. Like, you walk down the street, someone says hi, you can talk for 5 minutes. But it just does not, I don't do it around here because none of the people around here are my thing. But Twitch, we're all lifting. I mean, I have friends who are all various forms of lifting, and people don't even lift. In fact, I used to have people watching me regularly who would stay up till like 3 in the morning to watch me from like Belgium because they're just hanging out. And I'm like, this is cool as shit. So it's similar. It could probably flip either way depending on the time of the day. But I mean, legitimately, Tanner and Tommy letting me have the opportunity to help at the booth is one of the few things that keeps me coming back to the Arnold, because wandering around aimlessly is cool for a day, but I can't get 3 days out of it. And having a place to just go back and, yeah, and just hanging out there, people coming by asking questions. And then you get to see people. Just getting to sit out to the side of the lines and watch the stuff happen is so much more fun than getting stuck in the crowd.
It's our home base. It 100%
Yeah.
is at the Arnold. And that's like, can I leave my bag here? But then, like, you do your round, you go say hi to everybody, then you come back and you're like, yeah, I'm going to help you sell for a few minutes. And then you just stand here and you know, well, I want that shirt. Oh, we only have it in large. Yeah, but I'm a medium. And then like three people behind the counter will go, so get bigger. Right? Like, I know that. I know because
Yes.
that happened at the Arnold last year. And the kid went, oh my God, that's true. Okay, I'll take it. Like, it was like, and it's just like, yeah, it is. It's the home base for the silliness. And you're sitting there, like, you're just behind the counter, you're having a beer, you're helping them sell some stuff. I'm not taking any money because, like, I'm not that in, like, and then, like, Chris Duffin's standing there, he's sending a text. Huck Finn's over there having a drink, right? Yeah, Dan Bell comes over, like, and you're just in this kiosk, and these people are coming over that are just these big names, and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm just here to help Massenomics do well. So
Yeah, I mean, like in the last year alone. So the first 2 years ago, the first year I was able to help out, I got talked a bit Dan Bell. And Dan Bell, being a super heavyweight, he is like your one of the Mount Rushmore of heavyweight lifters.
yep.
And talking to Dan Bell, then the second year I come back and he's there, and I legitimately had like a 20-minute conversation with Dan Bell, and I can, what's his name, the guy who runs Lift Large, Lift.
I can't remember his name, but
So
yeah,
the three of
definitely
us
talk
are
to
over
him for a few
talking,
minutes.
and we're all three having a conversation about fat guy sex positions. And I'm like, this is the most up my alley, just ridiculous shit, because I'm not allowed to say shit like this in front of kids. So when I
Yeah.
come home, my language goes wild. And being able to sit there and talk with Dan about how fucking bad his blood pressure was whenever he was first trying to take gear and how fucked up it got, and then he's like talking about all this stuff like that. And then one day everyone left, everything's wrapping up, and Juji comes up. And Juji, not having to be on, not having to be Juji, just getting to be John Call standing there, just talking with him for a couple minutes. Or one day Chris or Jim Windler came up, and I talked to Windler, and he sat down, he's like, look, man, you got to set a goal. Say, I'm going to get to this goal. At that goal, get out of powerlifting, just get back to fitness, get down to a good weight. You'll feel great, but get to that goal. And, talking about goal setting in life. And it's like, it's crazy just the stuff that comes up naturally
Yeah.
whenever people get to just be people, and they don't have to be online entertainers all the time.
And we get to do that at the Massenomics booth.
At the Massenomics booth.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Sunday was that. I won't be there this Sunday unless I can convince Steve to stay, like, if we can get like some media passes or booth passes for like one day, but we only bought tickets for the Saturday because we wanted to make sure we didn't overspend this year. But the Sunday was definitely like, that's how it was. You were walking around, there was nobody there. right? Like there was just like, but and you were just you got to walk up and just talk to like Grant and Tanner and Tommy and all that, and that's actually where I got your signature
Yeah.
because it
That's
was
cool.
the Sunday that I said everybody sign this, and you're here at the bottom.
Right,
Yep.
It says
Joey's holding up the
this.
Massenomics pendant.
Yep, the smallest mini and Rachel got you both to sign it.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys got to see it last year. One of the best things happened towards the end when everyone was breaking stuff down. Huck, of course, is doing Huck things. Everyone else is breaking stuff down. His booth isn't even moved yet. And across there, I'm talking from like downtown, like Stone Cold Steve Austin distance. He's like, "Throw me a beer." Someone chucks a beer straight into his junk. I mean, it was like Tom Brady going for the touchdown.
I didn't see that.
It just
I'm
straight
surprised they never
nutsacked him,
heard that too, because he
and
usually
he
shares
dropped
everything.
like a ton of bricks. And Rachel and I were just like, "Jesus Christ, did this just happen?"
Oh god, I just woke my wife up. I'm laughing so fucking hard. Oh god, no,
Couldn't
that's
happen
crazy.
to a better guy.
Literally all Huck ever did was talk about the Arnold for like 6 months after it. But I don't remember
Oh,
hearing that
he was
story. That's fucking great.
slammed. He was hammered the whole time,
Oh,
even more
that's
than
great.
me.
He was
That's
doing
fun.
the first day, he did 40 beers the whole
Yep.
day while he was there, and that wasn't even including the ones after.
Yeah, that was the
Oh, that's
Friday.
awesome.
I was there with him for some of those.
He's a machine.
Well, that might have been the most thorough FMK answer, and I'm glad it segued a little bit, and I enjoyed all that conversation. And I think if anyone is listening to this and is anywhere near Columbus and doesn't go to the Arnold, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to go to the Arnold for the animal cage. Go to the Arnold for the strongman. Go to the Arnold hoping you're going to see Arnold. But make sure you're stopping at the booths. Make sure you're coming to the Massenomics booth. Make sure you're coming to the Huck Finn booth. Like that little corner is so wild, right? Like it's the craziest portion of I think the Arnold. No, okay, the medieval fighting is probably the craziest part of the Arnold
It's so
because
fun to watch.
there's just dudes swinging swords at armor. That might be the craziest part, but like where we were, probably the second craziest.
Think
And I
Mark will be
mean,
there
this year,
LARPing this year.
oh,
Everybody's
this
there LARPing as strong. That's
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 true.
the thing. What we do at the Arnold.
this year it's legitimately going to be a nut house because we're right next to the peanut butter
The peanut
place,
butter
and
place.
we're
Oh,
right across from the flavored nut people.
Oh, that
dum-dum.
smell's gonna make me gag for hours. Peanut butter.
And
Ugh.
and we're around the corner from a meal prep place and a protein ice cream or protein gelato place. I'm like, good lord,
Yeah,
all
we're
this food.
right in the middle of Massenomics Heaven, apparently. You
No,
want to get unpaid underrated?
well, first I have to pick the bone about the the your preference of peanut butter, man. How are you gonna go with chunky? I don't get it. Like
Nope.
it's
Chunky all
creamy
the
or
way.
nothing. God, I don't.
Chunky boys like
The,
chunky peanut butter.
Two
anyone not
words.
getting
Two
first.
words.
Yep.
Mouth feel.
So you guys didn't see that, but I mouthed it as he said it perfectly
great.
synonymously.
Oh, man.
Yes. That was
That's awesome.
crazy. If that was, that's got to be posted somewhere.
I'll give you
And
that.
to go with this, chunky peanut butter, no jelly. You can't have jelly.
Yep.
Jam, maybe.
Honey,
Preserves.
little honey.
Honey is good. Honey is good.
Mhm.
Honey, you put the peanut butter down, honey on top of the peanut butter, preserves on the other side. You got to have that chunk to your, like the seeds. And I love a good blackberry preserves. So you get chunks of blackberry and you get the seeds in it. Oh, it's the only way I can do it because I hated peanut butter growing up. But then I was like, oh, wait, you can make textures. So you buy like the fancy bread, like the Dave's 7 seed bread or whatever that has like this stuff on the outside and the little chunky pieces in the middle of the bread. And it's like, this tastes like a sandwich, not
Yep.
like punishment.
Yep.
All right, I had to get that out of the way because there was some chunky and creamy peanut butter talk, and everyone
Yep.
likes to bust my balls.
Sorry,
for being
whipped.
Such a whipped.
Whipped.
Yeah, who was it? Jeff. that said
Jeff
that?
brought that back.
It was like, you
Yeah.
fucker. I love that we have niche shit that people even drop in like the other boards. Like it's like we're getting like you references in like the random other Discords channels, and I love that. But yeah, unpaid Unpaid or underrated is a game we play. You know, we came up with it by ourselves. It's entirely Joey and I's creation with a little bit of help from Nate. We're going to handpick three topics each. Nate, so 6 topics total for Big Mini here. You know, obviously there is no overrated, so it's either unpaid. Nobody wants to be unpaid, so that sucks. And underrated, it means amazing. So I'm gonna dive right in here right off the bat. My number one is gonna be, what do you think, unpaid or underrated 3 pound steak dinners?
Wholly, entirely underrated, especially if you happen to be in Illinois in the area of Peoria. Go to Alexander Steakhouse. $70 gets you a 3 pound steak plus a trip to their salad bar and a baked potato if you want it. I got fries this time because I want to try something different. And if you get it, they give you a gift card for $20 off the next time. So it becomes a $50 steak next year. That's ridiculous. And it's a nice snack.
Nice. Now you did mention Peoria. I know I've heard Tom mention that town. So like, do you know how close you are to like, Tom and Tom or any of those guys? Like, because I know they've done some meetups before in the past. I think John Mollette's gym and one of the other towns might have been like an hour away from where he was at. So I'm not really. I didn't know if you I don't know if you follow Huck Finn enough to actually have ever gone to like a meet and greet or done anything.
I never did because I'm like 4.5 hours from Peoria. And that's where this conference is every year. But from Peoria to where Huck lives is like maybe an hour. Because I remember whenever I was looking for jobs in 2020, I saw a job and I looked at it and I went, why does this town sound so familiar? And then I looked over and I saw where on the map where Huck worked. And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that would be interesting.
They're always name dropping towns and stuff. I feel like I know, like I could name like 5 or 6 different towns in Chicago just between like what they say on the podcast, and I can name way too many fucking towns in South Dakota now too. So, all right, so
at least 3.
Yeah, a handful. All right, so I got one here. Unpaid or underrated? Harry and the Hendersons, the movie.
I can't say. I could not say that it's unpaid because it's got to be. It was good for its time. It's one of those movies that was good for its time. Is it going to withstand the test of time? Probably not. But it is very entertaining. And it has to be underrated just because, I got a kick out of it when I was little. It always reminded me of my uncles who had gigantic ZZ Top beards. And then I finally got a ZZ Top beard and I was like, oh shit, that's me now.
Nice. Well, I asked that because you've been known to lift in some Sasquatch suits, and I was just like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, I could have gone with like literally Sasquatch, but I was like, Harry and the Hendersons, a little obscure. So let me.
Now, John Lithgow was in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the
yeah.
dad.
So that's immediate, perfect movie. John Lithgow is the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody says, Daniel Day-Lewis is the greatest actor of our time, but like we all know it's John Lithgow.
Dude, when he was I'm not gonna say when he was a character in a season of Dexter, that was creepy because he was
he was the Trinity killer.
Like, I didn't want to spoiler alert.
Oh my god, I never even seen Dexter.
Old TV show. Everybody fucking watch it. Like it's over.
Tanner probably hasn't seen it,
but he's Don Quixote. Okay, he's Dick in Third Rock from the Sun. He's the dad in Harry and the Hendersons. Like John Lithgow, he's Farquaad. John Lithgow has been there with us since we were children and is still here with us now. Probably like he's got to be recognized at some point as one of the greatest actors.
He did the one that really sticks out to me was it was the one you already mentioned, the Stephen King where there's like the monster on the wing and he's like there's something on the plane, there's something on the wing, and he's like,
was he in that?
Yeah, he was in. Wasn't he the? Am I mistake? I swear to God, he was the guy that was freaking out on the air.
William Shatner was in that.
Yeah, William Shatner was because that's where he had his very stereotypical. There's something on the wing.
All right, then maybe I'm. I don't know. I'll have to look that up later.
You know who John Lithgow is, obviously, but that dude has been like in everything ever since we were kids, and it's all been iconic shit.
Oh, and here's a fun fact for you related to I just got a book while I was at that conference. It's a little kid's music book, and it's called, what is it? The Remarkable. Oh gosh, John Lithgow wrote this book.
Oh yeah. He does do that too. Yeah.
The Remarkable Farkle McBride is a little kid's book for like a kindergarten class about a kid who plays an instrument and is super good at it, and then because he's so good at it, he just breaks the instrument and gets a new one. And so it's a book that I bought to read to the kids about introducing instruments. And there's actual voiceover of him reading the book on YouTube. I could just play for the kids if I wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a kindergarten son, so
good book.
right
It's a
now
silly book.
right now we're into the Okie Dokie brothers. We finally got
Ooh.
into that. Have you heard of them?
I've seen them. I've never
Yep.
read them, but I've seen kids carrying them.
Oh yeah, no, so the Okie Dokie brothers are music.
Oh,
Uh
music. Oh no,
yeah.
I think of something else. Then
All
there's
right, so
some book the kids had.
yeah, they're from the Appalachians. Oh, they do books, I think. They do movies
Appalachians.
too, but
Let me
the
look them up.
song right now in our house that's very popular is The Abominable Yeti and Howl.
Oh yeah, they did. They had a. I saw an advertisement. Didn't they do a show or something, or have a movie they're working on?
I think so, yeah. But the Howl song is really cute because my kids both just start howling like wolves through the entire song. And my little girl throws her head
Yeah.
back and howls with pure abandon during this song. And it is glorious to watch because
Damn.
I want to raise feral children, of course, but
They got a Grammy. Damn, I didn't realize that.
yeah,
That's
they
awesome.
do. Yeah, they do. And to be honest, the music doesn't suck. I actually find myself listening to it without the kids around.
That's tough for a parent to find something that the kid will want to listen to that isn't just the
Vapid.
lowest common denominator of
Vapid
stuff.
crap. Yep.
Yeah,
The Okie Dokie
that's
brothers are up there.
very cool.
A bit bluegrass, bit country, but really fun. Sorry, Keith. What's your next?
Yeah, you're good. I'm gonna close out my three with I don't know which way is gonna get a better answer. So either strip clubs in general or being a bouncer at strip clubs, whatever you think will have a funnier answer.
My God, that is underrated. I wholly thank my ability to be a kindergarten teacher today on being a bouncer at a strip club. I hated people. I worked at McDonald's and Walmart when I was in high school, and that instills a solid dislike for everybody. And when I worked at the strip club, I was the most introverted, like sitting at a computer playing Diablo 2 guy. And all of a sudden, you're surrounded by boobies, and you're like, I've never seen more than two of those at a time. I didn't know that existed. And then you're forced to be around drunk idiots and forced to figure out how to de escalate drunk idiots. So being able to manage drunk college kids around the St. Louis area and crazy old guys and, you know, dealing with all the stuff that happens on the old East St. Louis side of stuff where it gets a little rough occasionally, it really made me better at just being there doing stuff. Like I was the kind of person I would have never talked to anybody if I went to the Arnold when I was right out of high school. I wouldn't talk to anybody I didn't know. But you go there and suddenly you walk in. First thing that happens, you walk in the door for your shift. Some drunk guy goes, "Let me buy you a drink." And the bartender gives you a rocks glass full of 151 and you just down it like a shot. And that's the start of your workday. Things go different very quick. And you learn a lot about just interpersonal relations. Not those kind of interpersonal relations, but the kind where you're talking to people. But yeah, it was an experience. And to make it even funnier, I had a manager the store manager of my McDonald's, who I always thought she hated my guts. I was dating this girl in high school. She became a manager at McDonald's. She became like this store manager's second in command. And then she ended up breaking up with me, like women do in high school. And we always argued. So she didn't like me. I'm at the strip club one night, and who walks in the door but that manager and her boyfriend to go into the strip club, and she is just gone hammered. And she's like, "I never hated you. I always talked with your ex about you, and she always told me all these bad things, and I never knew they were all just her being a 18-year-old girl saying everything that she thinks about boyfriends." It sounds like, well, Jesus, I've never been apologized to by a drunken boss at a strip club before. That's a new one. So I highly recommend, if you are a young man or a young woman and you want to have an experience, get a job at any kind of club, not a nightclub, a bar, something. You will learn how to deal with people very super quick. and you will learn lots of ways of managing stuff. Now, I will say I'm firmly better at managing adults and older kids than I am with younger kids because that's a whole different set of crazy. But yeah, I think my ability to talk to kids, to talk in front of groups, to talk in front of whatever is 100% because of my experience as a strip club bouncer. And at the time, I had a sweet mustache and couldn't grow a beard. So I got to wear a white tuxedo with a top hat and used to have people come up to me and talk to me in Spanish because they thought my mustache made me look like I was Mexican.
Hell yeah.
And so I even learned a little bit of Spanish back then. Un pequeño.
Un pequeño español.
Right. How long did you work there, give or take?
About 18 months,
Okay.
a year and a half. Year and a half of walking in every night and seeing a 110-inch projector screen playing the same adult films on repeat. It got to the point where you just be watching it and like some new guy being there at the bar you're talking to, like, hey, dude, check this out. This is about to get really crazy up on this screen. They're like, what? Oh, you're like, yeah, it's something, ain't it?
It's like, it's so weird that they just play porn in strip clubs.
I've never seen that. I've been to so many strip clubs. I've never seen that in my life.
Oh my God. I actually remember the last one I went to. There was not the last one I went to. The one that I went to, I haven't been to a strip club since I was like 25 and I'm going on 40. So it's been a while. But like, yeah, like you'd go in and there would just be like 4 screens. One didn't work. 3 were just blasting different porn. And you're like,
that's weird.
Okay, so there's genitals there, there's genitals over there. Like, I don't need this much raw flesh in my eyes. I don't need this much. But yeah. Anyway.
We see when I worked there, I started when I was 19 and I quit when I was 20. And I had never had alcohol before in my life. And it wasn't until I was around some of the craziness that happens with the women at the strip clubs whenever they're, fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a younger woman threaten an older woman. I'm talking like an 18-year-old girl threatening like a 40-year-old girl who were both dancers. And the 18-year-old girl took off her thigh-high boot to try to swing it like a mace at her. And the 40-year-old girl tried to break off a bottle into a bar shank. And I was like, whoa, you just need to chill out here. That's a little much.
Yeah.
So, you get this, you get that. And I'm like, I probably should start drinking a little.
Yeah.
And because I was working at the strip club, they let me drink for free, even though I was underage. Don't tell them which one it was, but
I'm not going to say anything. But and that's kind of crazy. It's an energy that I'm just not into anymore. I'm just too old for that shit. Like, I have no patience. If somebody said to me right now, let's go to the Peelers, I'd be like, okay. And then I would probably just like sit in the corner and be like, I don't want to be here, but I'm happy you're here because I love you and you're my friend or whatever, right? Like I'm either to support them.
Well, as a 19-year-old guy who never had good luck with women, it really helped me talking to women too, because no one can make you feel more important for 30 seconds than a stripper who wants to give you a lap dance.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope, I ain't paying 50, $75. And they're like, go on. The next one comes up, and you're like, wow, I must have something. Oh no, wait, I'm in a strip club. Shit.
I know, wait, damn it. But also that you shouldn't have been drinking while you were working, because I know that part of the rule is that they're not allowed to give you booze. They have to give you like fake booze. And, yeah, they're not supposed to do that shit.
Let me tell you our rule. We had 2 bartenders who were exceptional bartenders. By exceptional, I mean they were salesmen out the wazoo. And the one of them came up to me one day, and she's training me how to bar back. She's like, here's where you stock this, here's where you stock this. She goes, okay, as long as the owner is here, you are not behind a bar other than stocking. Yes, gotcha. As soon as the owner leaves, I'm going to teach you how to bartend, because here's the hierarchy of bartending. If I get drunk, I flirt with more guys and I get more tips. And at the end of the night, I tip you 10% of my tips for bar backing. And if I get the waitresses a little buzzed, they flirt with the guys, they get more tips, tip the bartender more tips, which means I get more tips. So it turned into, I learned how to bartend and drink heavily at the same time. And so at one point, between the 2 bartenders, myself, and 6 waitresses, 3 on each side, over the course of a 4-hour period, we went through 9 bottles of vodka, just drinking ourselves.
Yep.
I was I got a tolerance like mad. One night I broke the top off a vodka bottle and the bartender said, "You're gonna drink it." And I said, "The tops broke off." So she poured it through a coffee filter and made it into a full bottle sized Jaeger bottle or
Vodka
vodka
Red
or
Bull.
yeah, vodka Red Bull, a cherry bomb. That's what I was thinking of. And she's like, "You're gonna drink it." So I did. I drank almost a whole bottle of vodka. And I remember standing at the bar, like leaned back, eyes closed, closed my eyes, and I opened my eyes and I was in the walk-in cooler. And the bartender comes busting in and she goes, "Where have you been? We've been looking for you for like an hour." And I went, "What?"
Yeah, I'm here dying.
That
No,
was the
that's
first time I ever blacked out.
that's legit dangerous because I saw some like article or there was like a one of those really sad documentaries where like a chick like drunkenly wandered into a walk-in cooler at a hotel that was kind of like shut off and she fucking found her like 3 days later deader than shit. So like
Great.
that's
Right back to the beginning of the podcast talking about the Vince McMahon stuff. Hey, I'm going to move on to my unpaid and underrated. So we have this game we like to play.
Oh,
um, I don't know how to do some of these. Okay, so unpaid or underrated. This is risky. This is risky because you see the other side of it. Gentle parenting, not permissive parenting.
underrated,
Yeah, don't go permissive parenting, gentle parenting.
underrated. Don't, I kind of fit in that category. I don't tell my kid, I don't make him do stuff. I don't yell at him and make him do stuff. I don't get physical with him, but I will let him know if something is right or wrong, what that effects could be, and let him make his decisions. And then if his decisions are bad, I will help him correct them. But I've never been like super heavy parenting. But also, I feel like because I come from the background I come from, that he seems to understand more that if I tell him something, it needs to be this way, or it's probably right. Now, that also means he does have a mild bit of childhood misogyny where he doesn't listen to women as often. But if I get on him about it, he will shit a brick if
Mhm.
I am mad about something that he did. But at the same time, I see some parents who do the opposite, like you said, the permissive, where they just let everything go.
Yeah,
And
no.
I have some kids who, like today, I had a kindergartner who, while I had myself, an aide, and a student teacher in the class, 3 adults, he will not do anything I ask and just keeps crying because he wants his mom, who works at the school, to come into class because she will let him do whatever sometimes. But if she gets onto him about it, he shuts down. And that's where you get that problem of if you go too soft, they cannot handle any kind of adversity. But if you let them see that adversity and figure out why they should deal with it, it feels like it guides their own decision making better. And I want my son to have good understanding. Like I'm teaching him now the values of verifying your sources online. He'll come up to me and be like, "Did you hear this person's going to be in the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie?" He's like 10. And I'm like, "Where'd you see that?" He's like, "Some guy on YouTube said it." And I go, "Okay. Have you checked it on Google to see if it's true?" "Oh, no." Looks up on Google. "No, it says he's not going to be in it." "All right. So what'd you learn?" "Don't trust what you see on YouTube only." "Got it. Perfect." I want him to be able to understand the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, plus where he's getting his sources from. But I still let him do what I'll let him do some stuff and make some silly choices.
Yep.
In fact, some of the fun things being a parent now is my kid's old enough that one day we were driving down the road and we passed Captain D's and he goes, "Captain D's nuts."
Nuts.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to say that was wrong, but just make sure you do it
Yeah.
whenever you're around me and not around the teachers.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, my 4-year-old, so he learned how to say what the fuck at 4, except he knows when to say it.
Yeah.
So one day we're just in the bedroom and he's jumping on the bed and I'm like, "Oh, hey buddy," and I go to tackle him. Whatever. And something happens and he falls and he bumps his head and he looks at me and he holds the back of his head and he looks at me and he goes, "Daddy, what the fuck?" And I stood up and I went, "You're not supposed to say that." And I walked out of the room and I died because I was like, "Oh, that was the perfect time to say that." And you're allowed to do that when that happens.
Oh,
I had to mute myself. I was laughing so hard at that. That was
Yeah, but
good.
you are 4. You are not supposed to do that. But
yeah.
buddy, sometimes those words can hurt other people's feelings. So let's like wrangle in when we use that word. But at the same time, yeah, that's when you're supposed to use that word. He
Yeah.
did it. He did it in front of my mom once. He bit into a jalapeno. We're at Boston Pizza again, a Canadian thing. And he bites into a jalapeno and he goes, "Oh, it's spicy. What the fuck?" My mom looks at me and she breaks. She starts laughing. I was like, "No, mom, don't laugh. You're not allowed to laugh. You have to you have to maintain composure and tell him it's not okay." And I'm breaking, of course, like I'm corpsing as it's
Oh,
happening.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, my kid learned how to swear in a very in a very fun way. Okay.
I had a very young age. I had to tell my kid, "You're going to hear me say these words. I don't want to hear you say those words." I was
Yeah, you
like, "These are adult words. These are grown up words."
these are words that
I've never heard him say it yet.
you're gonna say eventually, and you
Yeah.
might as well learn how to say them properly, but like not when you're 4, damn it. Okay. Unpaid or underrated sumo deadlifts.
Underrated. Sumo has saved my deadlift life. Whenever I pull conventional, I have to pull like very Brian Shaw conventional, which is like sumo with your arms on the outside, which means my arms always feel awful. They're way the hell out there. I have very externally rotated hips, so just standing here, I'm slew-footed, like toes pointed out. And when I was working with Ben as a coach, and Ben said, "Have you ever tried sumo?" And I tried it, I couldn't pull 225. And I could not pull 225, could not pull 225. And you know when it clicked? They had a Joe on the podcast a few weeks ago, Joe Stanek. Now I don't know Joe, but I'm aware there's currently some interesting controversy between him and the rest and the game day people. But
Who?
one of the other people at game day name was Nico Flores. Nico Flores is another 74 kg power lifter who streamed during COVID, and he's one of the co-owners of Game Day Barbell. He told me one day, he goes, "Imagine you're sitting there doing a leg extension." And he said, "You're kicking your foot up. Now imagine when you're sumo deadlifting, you're trying to do that movement." And as soon as I did that, I pulled like 500 the next day. It was just that I was trying to the conventional pull it. And once I did that, I realized my squat style fits kind of what's the word for it, sympathetically with sumo deadlift, to where I can squat heavy and deadlift heavy in the same week and not have problems.
Mm.
But if I pulled conventional, I was always having low back problems because no matter what I do to get to the bar, I have to round my back to get there. I cannot
Yeah.
get low enough and tight enough to get it. Once I went sumo, it just clicked. And I mean, I went from 540 as my best ever conventional at the garage gym competition in 2020. And then I went to my first powerlifting meet in 2021 and I pulled 540 as a fourth attempt state record. Your super heavyweight, submasters, state record in the state of Illinois, drug tested. And I
They
got
got a
that
banner
record.
shirt for that.
Mercury in retrograde.
Yeah. Yeah, everything. And then so I pulled 540. And I pulled it, and the judge looked at me and went, "That's fucking it." That was my fourth attempt. I didn't expect to pull it because I hadn't lifted in 2 months. I had the meet scheduled and I got injured and I came back and just YOLO'd it and PR'd everything. This is the problem I have, by the way. If you ever
Oh,
hear Ben Rice, I will PR everything without lifting.
Ben told us this. Yes.
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
thing you do. You like to get injured, come back 2 months later and PR.
Yeah. So then I did my next meet and I pulled 600 as a fourth attempt. And there was an older dude who was there. He's always helped me. He's an equipped guy. Big guy, looks like me, but like all gray. And I pulled my third attempt and he comes hobbling back there and he goes, "Did you do a fourth attempt?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What'd you put on the bar?" I said, 600. He goes, "You should have gone like 630. Pulled 600. It was easy. I was like, how the hell is this working all of a sudden?
Mhm.
Then I went to Rivals and I tried to pull 666 for the memes. And
Mhm.
I even made custom emotes for rivals that are Gino's face with the fire in the background, and it's animated so it moves. And I had my friends spamming them in my Twitch chat, but no use. I ended up blowing the blood vessels in my eyes trying to do that. So, but yeah, sumo's, gosh, you don't see enough fat guys doing sumo. Like, what would Jesus pull sumo? Probably like 1,400. Man's out here just killing it.
Eddie Hall is going to pull sumo next week based on our
Yeah.
podcast. All right, last one for all the marbles.
Ooh. Yeah, one
Unpaid or
guy
underrated beard oil.
unpaid. I use it only when I want to feel fancy, but I don't notice a difference. I used it for about a year straight, and granted, it wasn't great stuff. It was just like that something Amish, honest Amish that you can get at Walmart. And I tried using the stuff, the Maestro's oil you can get at the Arnold. I used that. I don't notice a difference. I'll be honest. As another bearded man, I don't know what your beard care routine is. My beard care routine is I get in the shower, I run hot water on my bald head, and I have really oily skin, so I will shampoo my head, shampoo down the cheeks, shampoo into the beard, wash it out, and then just regular conditioner and call it a day. Like, I don't go crazy anymore. I was buying stuff and I was like, I don't notice a difference. In fact, when I stopped oiling it so much and I stopped using special beard shampoos, my beard went from being about 2.5 inches below my chin to where it is now in
Mhm.
2 years of just not cutting it. And if I stand up, you can see on the camera for you guys, it just stops naturally. I have not touched this anything other than the mustache with trimming in 2 years. And it just stops at a nice flat edge. And I'm just like, well, if Walmart brand conditioner and shampoo, sometimes I'll even just use the Axe body wash and just do that all across my head like a good old fashioned man, everything in one. I just don't see the point of it though. It looks, excuse me, it looks good when you have a good oiled, well maintained beard. I just too lazy.
Okay, yeah. So I definitely shampoo and oil my beard all the time. But I think mine might be a bit thicker. Like mine
Yeah,
goes in a lot thicker up here. I have never grown it as long as yours, but that's mostly just because of my job and my wife. Like they don't like it when they get that long. If I did, it would be huge. Like it goes out and then down. And I've just opted out of doing that. I notice when I don't oil because it my beard likes to steal all the moisture from my face. So like my face goes dry and then my beard just feels like hay, like literally like just hay. But as
yeah. I
somebody
guess mine
that
kind of feels like.
I don't wear cologne, right? I don't wear like scents or anything. It's the closest thing I have to a smell, and I like nice smells. So I buy nice soaps. I buy nice beard oils because I want to be anointed. So, like, I might, I'll bring a burrito. I'll bring one to the Arnold that literally just it smells like trees. It smells like just being in the woods in a mossy tree. I fucking love that stuff. Like, that's what I want to smell like all the time. So I use oils all the time, but that's just also I don't like the smell. I don't like the feel of just like dry, fucking dusty hay, and I get dandruff pretty quickly. So
I
I
mean,
guess it.
mine. To be honest, mine does feel kind of like stringy hay, but at the same time, the only thing it felt like when I oiled it and I used like beard conditioners on it, it felt like slightly less stringy hay. It wasn't like a drastic difference. It
Yeah.
wasn't like you see all the Garnier Fructis commercials and the women's hair looks all frazzled and it's like, oh, it flows beautifully. No, my beard was like
I'll
that
have what
full
he's
beard.
having. No, no, we're not doing
Yeah.
any of that. But like, I have a boar hair brush. I have a ram's horn brush. Like I have like things to make sure it doesn't get all out of hand.
Yeah.
But again, like I like having a beard. It's not a small beard. I just got it
Yeah,
trimmed
no, not
actually.
at
It's
all.
funny, last week I think we talked about like the can versus, and then I immediately got it trimmed the next day. Like I took like 2 inches off and like brought it in. But yeah. Yeah, they're not for everybody, but I might find one you like. I might, and then the worst part is you got to order it from Canada. That's
Yeah. Yeah. The Maestro's one I liked was kind of like a weird combination of vanilla and tobacco scent.
I have that one. I might have that one. So it was weird. There was like one beard company walking around the Arnold, and they would like hand you like a sample. They'd be
Yeah.
like, "Here's a
Yeah.
sample of our creams," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And then the other one, I was like walking around on the Sunday, and this she had to have been 15. I don't know what she was doing there. She walked up and she's like, "Hey," and she handed me everything they had. She's like, "You've got a nice beard. Can you just like take this and maybe review it?" And it was like the cream and the beard oil and the shampoo and the samples. And I was like, "See, that's how you get attention at the Arnold.
That was
You
just
don't
Yeah.
hand
Drop a
me,
bomb on
that was
them.
on Sunday. They were gonna either have to take that back home with them or give it away. So they
yeah, you don't
find
hand me
a new
the
one with a mustache or
you don't
two.
hand me the condom package of your like
Yeah.
one cream. Like you go, hey man, you got a beard? Here's your stuff, review it.
No, it makes
Actually turned
sense.
out to be great stuff.
Well, you know, the sad thing for me is too, like I said, I'm 38. I have a picture of
Nice.
myself, my dad, me, there's me, my grandma, my dad, me, and my son. So 4 generations. And this was like 2019, right before COVID hit, like Easter 20 or Easter 2020. My beard is the same color as Keith's, just all one color. And then the last
Oh,
2 years, I've
oh
just
man.
like been losing everything. And I go, I just,
Don't even look at get you okay. You can't see this because you're the podcast people. Big white streak. It's just pure white right here and pure white up here. Like it's
yeah.
I'm a
I just
ginger, so
said
I'm
it's
not gonna go gray. I'm gonna go white or blonde, and let's do it, man. Let's become Santa Claus. Me and you both.
yeah.
I'm
I
Santa
just
Claus.
said I just said, you know what? I could color it, but I also did. I'm not going to go get a hair transplant because I'm losing my hair. So
Hmm.
why would I go color my beard because my beard's getting gray? I mean, I'm almost 40. So that means I'm like 90% done with life. So
Mhm.
we're working our way up there.
No, we're gonna buy a red costume. We're gonna go down to the sick kids hospital, and we're gonna do our jobs.
Yeah, I've got a Santa costume in there. I
So
I
do I.
I
It's right
did
there.
my whole Christmas concert in a Santa costume, and then our town Christmas parade, I marched in a Santa costume with the kids, and then I was
Yeah.
told right before it started, "Hey, just so you know, the event coordinators might come tell you can't wear that because you're not allowed to dress like Santa because they have an official Santa Claus for the parade."
Oh, the
And I and
official Santa Claus is important.
I looked at the guy who told me that, and I said, "Tell them to come tell
Yeah,
them to come take it off to my face."
take it off me.
And I saw the person look at me, and it took like 2 steps towards me, and they looked at their clipboard and walked away.
Yeah,
Just be like, I'm not Santa Claus. I'm Fred Claus. So deal with it.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm Tim Allen.
Well, I think you passed. I think you did good.
Yeah.
You earned the being so
Awesome.
cool and all that stuff. A couple things came
Nice.
up I wanted to touch on while we were going over that. I did get a new someone used our affiliate code for Barbell Rescue during the podcast. I think
Hell
the
yeah.
email came in at like 10 o'clock. So if anyone's not familiar, go ahead and look up Kim's company. Go buy a brush from Barbell Rescue. Use code unpaid and help us put a little money in the coffers. The other thing. I don't remember what the hell it was. There was one more thing I wanted to. It was something that came up with all our topics of conversation, but I do not recall what it was. So I'm just going to randomly try to think about it. But
We need to talk
our
about poop to make up to keep
yeah,
the
do you have a poop story that you wanted to share?
I got made fun of for going to TwitchCon and flying out there with my bag of psyllium husk fiber supplements because I was testing out to see if it did anything. And guess what? Literally didn't do shit.
That
It was just gross tasting and not worth it. So I learned for $20 I learned.
it's
That's about it. I'm not a poop person.
no, you don't have to be. It's just been funny that we had like we didn't even coax. We didn't even try to get Lou to talk about it last week, and he was just like, "Oh, I have one. I'll share." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, no poop story this week, guys. Sorry."
Yeah, I just tell Rachel,
Oh,
I'm a perfectly normal man. I go poop 7 to 8 times a day, just normal stuff.
I don't know.
7 8 times a day. Personally, I'm only at 4 times, but they're all 2 hours each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's about intensity, not about quantity.
that's where I get all my show prep done. You know,
Actually,
yeah,
yeah.
that is bugging me. I literally had like something that was a follow up on something you guys were talking about, but oh well. Uh, well, I guess we can hand it over to you there, Minnie. Do you have anything you mentioned a game or some questions for us?
Well, I don't know. It might take a little bit, but I
Okay.
don't know how much time you want.
Under a half hour, more than 5 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. So I would like to hit you with a little something. It's not quite unpaid or underrated, but in honor of the most underrated workout program to ever exist, I have a 5-3-1 game for you. So we talked a little bit earlier about the WWE style walkouts and your own songs.
Fuck
For the five section, give me your five best
me.
lifting songs.
I
Got to
can't
take
do
fucking
five off the
notes
top of my
here.
head.
Any five that you listen to regularly. It could be. It doesn't have to be the best, but just like if you had if your Spotify Wrapped popped up, what were your top five?
Well, I can go because I can just bring up my lifting playlist.
Yeah,
Okay. So most recently, John Wick mode out of La Castlevania. So there's a random techno thing out of John Wick that just gets my blood fucking going. Um, Firestarter by The Prodigy. I've added that one.
Of course, that's a classic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one that makes me laugh. And I don't know if it's a lifting thing or if it just makes me laugh. It's called Pound Cake by the Thought Squad. It's really funny. It's just genuinely really funny. And it's very intense and chaotic and stupid for no reason. So that one's on there. I guess it's just my lifting playlist. The Der Musclemen, but it's a remix called Muscles X Exclusive Holland. Um, I guess I can post a version of it, but it's that hardcore European techno that's just like
Is it
hammer.
very is it like reminiscent of DJ Muscle Boy?
No, no,
Even harder core European Eurobeat?
yeah, yeah.
Is it going to be the kind of Eurobeat that I might need to almost borderline roll up in like a Ladakar with a ski mask on, like borderline Russian Eurobeat?
Yep. Yeah, actually the first time I heard this so the original is stupid intense. This remix gave me heart palpitations the first time I heard it. And the one time we were sitting in the car, okay, my wife was in the store and it was me and the two kids and this song came on and I was like, "Guys, you want to dance?" We all were just so chaotic and bouncing. The whole car was moving and people were walking by going like, "What's wrong with all of you?" But it's just like do 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 like it's insane techno. Um and then of course like I have my random Viking music. So there's a song called Buzla's Ban by Halung. When
Oh,
I
great group, great
deadlift,
group.
yeah, when I deadlift, I prefer Halung. Like if it's a heavy single or something I really need to focus on, I prefer the Halung style repetition droning, drumming and chanting. I don't like this crazy heavy metal and all that shit because like it's yeah, that's energetic stuff, but I want my deadlifts to be centered, not external. So maybe that's why I'm a shit deadlifter. I don't know, but those are my five.
Yeah, it's a good group. What you got, Keith?
well, Tanner's favorite song, "Sail" by for the AWOL Nation. That's
Yeah.
definitely been in there. Probably a little I say like because as I have three country ones I'm gonna put in there, they're gonna piss people off. But if I have to go with my other, because I want to stick with all those, so I guess I'll go "Custer" by Slipknot. That's been a big one for the last like
Fuck me up and
10, yeah.
got me up.
Fucking, and I'll start to like strategically like take a set like right when it like hits like the fucking the heavy part sometimes. And then I've been listening to if anyone's been following me for even the last few years, "Keeps the Wolves Away" by Uncle Lucius. That's my jam. The two newer songs I've been listening to a lot are Fast Hand by Cody Jinks and then E by Matt Mason. Both songs similar to the To Keep the Wolves Away, where they basically just tell a story. It's kind of like a pretty deep story to some extent. It's not like your typical it's not gonna be songs. At least I don't hear on the radio. So just songs that kind of just I don't know make me feel something, I guess. And I need songs like that every now and then. And I don't know. I've never been
Yeah.
more of a country kick in the gym, but like certain songs. I'm not gonna listen
I,
to like new songs really, but
so I have a thing for you, Keith.
yeah.
This is a challenge a little bit for you. So you mentioned Sail by AWOL Nation. Uh, Try Sail by Devil Driver.
All right, yeah, they're both on my playlist.
Okay.
I like them both, but I also
So have you heard the Country Heroes album by Devil Driver?
probably not.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
So Hank Three's on it. They do a lot of country songs, but with they do it in metal.
Okay,
So maybe this is where you and I meet.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, send me that later when I'm lucid, and I'll.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this is where you and I we do the metal country meet there because
I could see that.
yeah.
All right. So now we're moving on to the three. So we've talked about
Less pressure with three.
yeah, less pressure with three. Three is way straight up my alley because you do not get to be 400 pounds of large meat mountain without some of this. Your three most underrated meals pre-workout. Anything you want, anything you think of that you could eat, or if you prefer to drink before pre-workout that is underrated by most people. Like pre-workout, we know everyone's going to drink pre. Someone's going to drink protein before because they think they need to get that window in or something. But something you would eat that you don't think everybody would know about.
I don't know.
So yeah, I actually don't eat very often before my workouts. If I had to say my ideal pre-workout, it's going to be some nitric oxide. So we're going for that, that build fast formula boner. I don't usually take caffeine. I'll have a coffee in the morning. Like on a day off where like I have the luxury of working out when I want to. This would be my ideal day. Okay, I wake up in the morning and I have a coffee. And maybe I have a hard-boiled egg. Like maybe. I don't want anything I'm going to burp up while I'm working out. So I don't have bacon. I don't. Are you peeing right now? I don't.
If only. I don't think I have a jug small enough.
Obviously, you guys can't see this, but that was a really funny question. So yeah, like maybe I'll have a hard-boiled egg. I don't like bacon. I don't like spicy stuff. Sometimes I'll ask Morgan to make me an egg. She'll throw in chilies or something, and I'm like, you can't do that. I'm gonna burp that up the entire time. So, like, ideally, I actually don't eat before most of my workouts. Maybe some oats and the nitric oxide for the pump, because the pump is, to me, I don't like, I very much regulate my caffeine in a day. Today, I've had more caffeine than I have had in 3 or 4 days because I don't like more than 300 milligrams a day. So today, because I was so tired, I had an extra 180 that I don't usually have. So I try and keep it under 300. On a bad day, 400. But
Gotcha.
eggs, some oats. I don't like bacon before I work out. That's stupid. And if you do, good for you. But no, I'm not into that. Keith, what do you got?
For me, it's more about timing. So like my I work out at the same time, pretty much like, I work out at 9:30 every Sunday for the last 10 years, and I work out when I get home from work, Monday and Friday or Tuesday and Friday. But my times I get home from work vary between 2:30 and 5:30. So if I'm home before 3:30, I'm probably gonna go just right down to the gym, and then I'm just like still full from lunch. If I get home after 4, I'm probably gonna eat a super super early dinner, and then just wait a half hour and then go eat. I'm not going to auto regulate really what I'm eating necessarily. Like I'm just going to eat. I need to eat within a couple hours to like no sooner than a half hour or no farther out than like 3 hours, kind of, sort of. But I don't like, oh, I have to have this exact amount of carbs or whatever. If I'm at a meet, I mean, I wouldn't even say underrated because everyone eats peanut butter and jelly, but yeah, I pack peanut butter and jelly and then like, some kind of protein. But yeah, I don't think I have a magic answer to that. I eat the same breakfast on Sundays, which is typically, I mean, sometimes I'll do eggs, but more often than not, it's just my premier protein cereal with some almond milk. And I don't know. I don't like change in variety. I definitely like today. Today I had a really shitty day at work yesterday with some drama, so I kind of treated myself today to like a greasy lunch, and I was like, well, I could either do it today or tomorrow, but I really don't want to try to deadlift after eating like a big steak sandwich and a bunch of chicken fingers and like a
Mhm.
gallon of ranch. So like, let me eat that tonight, and then tomorrow I'll just eat my regular, normal chicken, and then go into deadlifts without fucking bubble guts.
Yeah, I guess it must just be a thick boy thing because my first powerlifting meet I went to, I brought like 2 foot long loaves of bread sandwiches and ate those. Um, my first USPA meet, the day before I weighed in, I went out. I had all you can eat sushi and ate 3 other fast food places. Then the morning of, I went and got like 4 sausage muffins on the way to the meet. One time here on my birthday, I dressed as a hot dog and ate 3 pounds of hot dogs while deadlifting. And so it must just be a big guy thing. I will eat whatever. I will eat the worst food. Yesterday for lunch, I had 4 McDoubles and a large fry. And then today I
Oh,
had 2 McDoubles and a large fry.
if you want to talk about what I'm going to eat the day before a
Yeah,
big lift,
the way
that's
the
a
code
different
reads.
conversation. I don't like chicken wings on the day before I have big lifts because I get heartburn, but I will eat the shit out of McDonald's all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
Not the day I lift, because as a person with a beard, when I eat a Big Mac, I taste that Big Mac all fucking day because it gets stuck in my beard and my mustache. But the next day, I know I have the calories, the sodium, and the carbs to go and lift the crap out of stuff.
I mean, whenever COVID hit, that was probably the strongest I ever got quickest because I'd wake up and I'd eat breakfast and take a nap and then wake up and lift.
Yeah.
And every day I would eat like 2 cups of rice and a dozen eggs and like a half pound of bacon or sausage, and then go back to sleep for an hour or two, then wake up and then go lift. And I'm like, oh, I feel great.
A dozen
Feel great.
eggs
Did you
in
say
one
2 dozen
sitting?
eggs?
Bro, I'm on a full Gaston diet whenever I was there. Like, I would just take a dozen eggs.
I got started.
When I was a lad, I ate 5 dozen eggs every morning
I
to
know,
make
me
me
too.
grow
I eat
strong.
so many eggs.
One
But
thing that I
yeah,
do, one thing I have to do is that I'll never do a meet without eating chicken parm the day before. Like that, I don't think I ever, if I ever have, it's been like one out of like the dozen meats or something. So always gotta have
that's a
chicken
good
parm
combo.
before a meet. I can't,
that sounds
I
good.
can't not do a chicken parm of some
At the
sort.
Live Hard Live Easy though, I'm gonna eat some chicken wings and then go lift and
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
up. I'm gonna throw up on that platform. Let's do it. This is
I mean,
on the NP. Let's triple on the platform at the Live Hard Live Easy.
the last meet I did, I'm sitting down waiting for deadlifts and I'm just jamming out to some ska music. I mean, I'm the kind of person that everyone else is like screaming, and I'm up there like skanking to the music, just going. And then
Same.
this person comes up and they go, "Hey, I got a giant tub of Rice Krispie treats. You want some?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like trying to get the Rice Krispie treat off my hands so I can chalk my hands to go lift. All
Somebody
right.
feed it to me. Somebody feed it to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. I got chalky hands. Little chalk.
You
It's
know, I
like
It's
just,
just
fiber.
tacky. It's
you know, I
tacky
just,
at that rate.
is- I just had the image of like, how Dave does the flames, obviously. Like some of the guys up there are gonna have so much alcohol still in their system. Could you imagine like someone I mean, I don't think scientific is possible. If someone like burped or something and like there was still that much alcohol in their system that it just made the flame get bigger and they fucking caught themselves on fire or
That's
something
it's
ridiculous.
just a Ramstein concert at this point.
Yeah, I could see
Don't
it.
let Huck in there. It'll look like Joe Dirt when he hits the nuclear bomb with the
And
firecracker.
on Let's Get Super this morning, Finn did mention that like, well, because everyone's always asking when he's going to do another competition. He did say he was either going to do a competition, he was going to compete at Live Hard Live Easy or a meet before that. I
Hell
doubt either of
yeah.
those will actually happen because that's just the running joke. Because Huck will never compete again, but would be cool to meet him. To actually have him, well, not meet him again and have him come out to Aberdeen, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Last one. This is the one. This is the final. This is the be all end all of every lifting podcast. What is your number one most underrated lift accessory, like, or accessory lift, I mean, like, if you had to pick a lift that you think helped somewhere the most, but it's not one that you see people doing on TikTok and Instagram, what would you think is your favorite helpful accessory lift?
I got one. Board pressing. I love board pressing. I use my bench block. I mean, the two board, the three board, the four board, the five board, they all feel different and have different things. And like, we'll, basically get heavier. Like right now, we just started a wave. Like my meet 7 weeks out or 8 weeks out. So we started with a two board, and we're gonna progress right up till the meet where I'm touching probably like I gotta actually talk to my coach. I'm not sure if we're gonna go to if we're gonna cap it at a three or if we're gonna go to 4 to a 5. But either way, I'll be doing like 50 pounds more than my bench, like just unracking, partial range of motion, locking out, but just completely annihilating my triceps. I always tell people like it's such a different tricep pump. Like my triceps, like they're not pumped, but I know I've put it in words better before, and I can't really think of how I say it now, but it's such a different feel. Like they're completely annihilated, but it's not like from doing like 3 sets of 15 on a tricep extension. It's just such a different feel. So if anyone's ever been on the fence about just trying a bench block or board pressing, they're I don't know, as an accessory on my one of my second or third bench day and just going super fucking heavy with them, and it's just so much fun.
Nice. I have a bench block over there. Maybe you might have talked me into actually using it for once.
I love it, dude. That's the hard thing too. Is people were like, "Well, how do I program?" And I was like, "I don't know. That's why I fucking pay someone to program it. It's an accessory. I don't really. It doesn't only matters a little bit. Like I wouldn't. It's. I do it after deadlifts on bench day, sometimes during meet prep. And it's like, and my coach knows how much I like it, so he does kind of save it for preps. So like we're not doing it a bunch in the off season because I don't want to do the same fucking accessories for 12 months. So it's just kind of throws it in for a few months in meet prep.
Gotcha. Very cool. What about you, Joey? What do you do that you find works? What's your secret? What's your super secret?
Sandbag rows.
Sandbag row.
I dipped the barbell rows, passed on those, and I started using my sandbag with the handles to do my bent over rows. Uh, my back grew, my deadlift grew, my stabilization grew. I think a couple of people on Instagram said no, that's a bad idea. It's not going to work, but it worked for me. I don't know why, but it is my favorite version of my back workouts. I can't do T-bar rows. They're boring as shit, but picking up that sandbag up to my chest and putting it back down is fantastic. And my back is not small. Like it's a deadlifter's back for sure. And I think that is the one where I just started using the sandbag instead of the barbell to do those chest rows that I think made the difference for me for my lockouts.
Now, how heavy do you have the bag loaded?
It's 100 pounds right now. I've got a 150-pound bag, but it doesn't have handles. That's the problem. It makes that one a little harder.
Yeah.
So that one I just use for carries or just cleans, but like for repetition, it's definitely been those sandbag rows.
And so, in comparison, whenever you did barbell rows or T-bar rows, is your weight you would normally row
About the
around
same.
that?
About the same.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But the sandbag
Very
for some
cool.
reason just was more fun, more interesting, and like it's not as even, right? Like
Yeah.
barbell, like the barbell. I'm not. I'm a nobody, right? I don't know shit. I'm not like a trainer or anything.
Who?
Yeah, the barbell is. It's a certain kind of evenness. It's a certain kind of like I have my feel. You guys have talked about this before that like I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the way that feels. Blah blah blah. Sandbags, you don't get that shit. You don't get to do that. A sandbag is a sandbag. You get to lift it, and it's uneven every time. So I do feel like those sandbag rows have it's never the same. Each rep is different because stuff shifts. And of course, I have pea gravel. Wah wah wah. But like things go a little different every movement. And I do feel like that has contributed a lot to my deadlifts.
Very cool. That might be something. I was for a while whenever I was trying to recuperate this wrist injury. I have a 70-pound slam ball.
Mhm.
And I was just doing that to see if I could even grab something with my hand and just doing that as like a row to the chest. But I have to see about getting a sandbag. I've never had one. I've always kind of wanted one.
Well, you can do Scant has one that he's got, the inclusive sandbag. He's got a code for those. I use one from out west here. God, if I can remember the name, that would be nice. But I also have a Bells of Steel one that the Bells of Steel one is the one with the handles. That's kind of the one that I use the most because the handles, like
Yeah.
you can use those for throwing, for tossing, for carrying. Little easier to like do the sandbag walks with the handles because you can like tuck them under your wrists, but then you fall on your face when you put them down. No, that didn't happen to me. But that would be my one. That would be my one. Is the sandbag girls for
Oh,
sure.
very cool. Yeah, it's always nice to hear because everyone has something different they're working on and something different that works for them that doesn't work for somebody else.
Yeah,
Like there's somebody out there who does, Bulgarian split squats legitimately, and there's those of us who just skip them.
I've
And
never done
so,
one in my life. Hate them.
yeah, I looked at it and I said, I don't think that's going to happen, Chief.
I'm gonna fall over every time.
Yep. So yeah, it's nice hearing what that works because lifting for me has been 100% about watching what other people do, trying it, and seeing what works.
Mhm.
And if it works, keep it. If it don't work, try something new.
Makes sense.
All right, that's it, guys. You did awesome. Thank you for the great
Awesome. That was
answers. I'm gonna have to listen to some of these songs that I don't know, some ones
uh,
I'm not familiar with.
I liked your game. That's the we've had some very unique things thrown at us, and I like the Jim Windler take on that. That was
Yeah, that
really
finally was. That was
that
really
was
good, actually. That was really
very
fun. Nobody's done
well
that to
thought
us.
out. I dig it. I think we might be able to start bringing this in for a landing.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
You're still wearing your fucking orange glasses. I'm driving down to Rochester and I'm gonna break those goddamn things.
it's all right. Who's probably not driving to Rochester because he's too busy getting haircuts is your buddy Big Matt.
I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he went from feral to domesticated within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll get him.
I just lost my hair naturally. I mean, I couldn't imagine getting rid of it.
Like on purpose. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like me and you, maybe we're like, oh, our hairline kind of sucks. Let's start shaving our head. And Matt's like, my hairline's great. Still gonna cut it. Like, dick move,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, similar
Yeah.
to standing us up for 39 weeks in a row, but potato, I guess.
Hey man,
Some
he's got
people
an
are
open
just built different.
invitation. He's got an open invitation. He'll show up whenever he feels like it.
I don't even know. Like, I'm so annoyed. Like, I don't even. Does he even deserve like a drunk Keith at fucking Pounders or whatever bar we're at going? So got Big Keith here, and interviewing someone on our Instagram stories.
I think that's all he deserves.
Yeah,
We'll see
that's
what
it.
happens. We'll see what happens. You
I'm
won't be
just.
drunk. You won't be drunk. You're gonna be
I will not
so
be drunk.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not. I'm
On the
not.
Thursday, you're gonna be
I'm
so
not drinking at
scared
all.
of being drunk
I'll drink. I'm gonna
because
drink
I
like
won't
three
wake
years
up
total between
early.
Thursday and
Yep,
Friday,
yep. And then
and
Friday,
then
like, well, I don't want to be drunk for tomorrow because like
yeah, that's me.
you're worried about your numbers than you are having fun.
Man, I can't be hungover. I will be
Yeah,
if I'm hungover. I'm not even gonna leave the hotel room. I'll just be like, I'll see you guys at the
called
fucking
the
Saturday
fuck
night.
out.
Uh,
I'm gonna be hungover as shit. Do you think I'm gonna have it? Do you think anybody's gonna let me not drink Thursday and Friday? You have to not show up.
right. So I think we hit all our affiliates. Yeah. Obsidian, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con. Use code unpaid. It'll save you on all of those, and it'll help put a little money in our pocket, so we can give back to the community here. So appreciate that. Anyone that'll order from us. Instagram, you can find us at Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, as well as the website, more importantly, where Nate puts all his time and effort on there at unpaidinternpodcast.com,
And the
as
fucking
well.
orange and the fucking
Yeah,
glaze.
Glaze Search.
Jesus,
Glaze
dude,
Search is
calm down.
I I was kind of worried he was dead this week because I didn't get any updates on like a new added feature to Glaze Search. So like Nate, are you okay, buddy? Like text us when you are listening to this. Let us know you're okay.
Got a sick kid.
Big Vinny, where they gonna find you at on the where you they want you to where you want them to find you?
Instagram at mini action Jesus, twitch.tv/miniature action Jesus. And if I ever get a chance to even bother figuring out how to do video editing, I do have a miniature action Jesus YouTube channel. Right now, I cannot figure out how to do this because I am of that borderline boomer zoomer range where I know how to use technology enough to know I don't know how to use technology.
Nice. Well, go look him up there. I am Big Keith. You can find me at Keith Honeycutt 73. Go follow my Orange Shim at the No Wine Cellar, and Big Joey over here will tell you not to follow him in a minute.
No, like follow me. It's boring as shit. Like I post nothing. I know a weird thing about Instagram, and I think they pointed this out the other day that like I didn't post anything for like 2 weeks and my followers went up. And
Yeah.
then I posted a selfie and it went down. Like I don't understand Instagram. Am I ugly and you
I think
hate
it's just
me?
bots, dude. Like my
I
count
don't
like
get
will
it.
fluctuate 10 people every week, and like I'm not getting real followers. I'm just losing fake followers, or people do the whole, they follow 1,000 accounts to hope that 100 follow them back, and then they fucking unfollow everybody. Like
Yeah.
that's like a legitimate thing. So
I don't know, maybe. Anyway, at Joey_MLECZKO, but just follow the podcast and you'll eventually find me. Maybe. It's not so sure anymore.
all right, boys. We'll see you next Tuesday.